terms of slotting or type, given that you know, looking at the holes and looking where this roster is at this moment?
Third line center. I think that's the secondary need for the team. I think defense is far and away number one. But I think in a perfect world, they don't really want Max Domi to be the 3C in a playoff series. I think he's done an admirable job right now. You know, he's made some nice plays, contributed on the scoreboard in terms of secondary scoring. But you could tell that he's not trusted defensively against the opposition's best lines. Late in games, Sheldon Keefe seldom uses him in defensive situations. And I think they want more of a pure two-way center, not a utility guy that Domi is, where he's flexible, can play a little center, can play a little wing, but is primarily an offensive-minded guy. I think they want a more pure 3C. And we'll see if one shakes out here onto the trade market. One name I'll just throw out at you just because he plays for a rebuilding team is I wonder about Adam Henrique, if he might be a fit here. But I think we'll get a clear picture once more teams drop out of the playoff race. And again, I think absolutely defense is number one, but I think the 3C position is something this team's been eyeing for a while too.
Adam Henrique from Brantford. Good Hamlet. Yep. Love a good Brantford.
Hamlet?
Yeah, I mean, it once was a Hamlet.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's grown out of Hamlet status.
We will let you go, Luke, but MSG's got to be the top of your list in terms of favorite places to go for a road trip.
You nailed it. Yeah, it's my favorite rink, and I'm right at center ice. So
nice.
Not a bad way if you got to work on your birthday. So
there you go.
Oh,
what? Luke
happy
Fox,
birthday!
Happy birthday!
Oh, thanks.
Just drop that in. We didn't know.
Yay.
Wow.
Enjoy, Luke.
Just drop the nugget.
Oh, happy birthday! Thanks for coming on.
All right. Thanks,
Talk to you soon.
Oh, he could have said no. Birthday?
Luke Fox' birthday. Did we know that?
We took warm-ups away from him on his birthday.
Oh,
at
and
MSG.
it's his favorite rink, and he probably wanted to soak it in. He was talking to us clowns.
Oh, maybe we made his
What
day.
a gem. All right. That's exciting. Well, I just feel bad. I was talked about my birthday in that entire conversation, but you didn't even mention till the very end. What a guy. All right, so Maple Leafs at MSG, of course. We do have the lineups, and they are, as I said, a little bit different. It doesn't look too alarming at this point, but as we said, Noah Gregor getting the top left wing spot with Matthews and Nylander because Matthew Knies is dealing with an illness. Bertuzzi, Tavares, Marner, Robertson, Domi, Yarncrook, McMahon, Kampf, and Reeves. The McMahon story is very sweet that his dad said for the dad's trip. So, and he's played at MSG. That's awesome. Riley, Brody, Legason, McCabe, and Benoit, Timmons, and Martin Jones in net.
Yeah, they went for minimal impact, I think, with the lineups because, there's one guy out. You could change all the lines. You could move everyone up one notch. Instead, they moved a fourth liner to the first liner, and the middle six stays as it was. So that's the strategy, I suppose, for Sheldon Keefe here. But I think it's a strategy that also makes sense in terms of just, meritocracy, right? Like Noah Gregor has really, really been a positive.
Yeah.
Like he's been very good inside of his role. Sheldon Keefe has talked about, as Luke mentioned, getting him more ice time if he can, or getting him into bigger platform spots if he can. And this is the perfect opportunity to reward someone who's relegated to 12-ish minutes playing with a guy like Ryan Reeves, who's not trusted, and therefore you don't have all the trust in the world in your coach because by extension, your line mates haven't gotten that trust. So this is a really good spot for Noah Gregor to positively impact this team and build on what he's been able to accomplish on the fourth line. He has been, as we talked about, one of the major successes for Brad Treliving in terms of offseason additions. Bertuzzi's been great. They've gotten something from the depth defenseman. Jones could be that too. But I think Gregor really stands out in terms of ads that have had at least more impact than we thought they would have.
Could this be the Noah Gregor game?
It could be. We might have to change our player to watch on the other side
Don't
of the
worry.
break.
I already changed it for us. It might be the Noah Gregor game in the making.
Some steam on Noah Gregor right now.
Well, I'm thinking maybe we got a top line controversy now. He's got a game. Matthew Knies is out. He falls down the ranking. I'm just kidding.
I mean, it's possible. I don't think Matthew Knies has, again, I don't think Noah Gregor's going to play top line minutes for this Maple Leafs team for months on end. But Matthew Knies has kind of been placeholder this year on the top line. Like, it's not like he's been knocking our socks off and playing at a really high level, a first line level this entire season. He's kind of been, he's not that he's been a burden but he's
definitely not.
It's not burden, but like Austin Matthews deserves proven line mates that have played.
But they're both from
Arizona.
So.
Exactly. But he's in addition to scoring all these goals, Matthews is kind of in part having to shepherd along a guy from Arizona and a young prospect for this team who is not reached peak performance and top line level. He might be a second liner right now in the NHL. He might maybe more realistic be a third liner in the NHL right now. But a top liner, I don't think he's earned that distinction yet. So I don't know if his spot there is permanent. And Noah Gregor, again, probably not taking it tonight. But we just asked Luke about, additions they could make. Third line center, yeah, that's probably number one. But if I'm just spending all the money or there's an injury that allows for more flexibility, I could see them shopping for a left winger that could have some impact in the top six.
I wouldn't be surprised if that Noah Gregor spot today's almost even just used as like a shuffle. Like, I know that sucks for Matthews and Nylander, but like, tell me Yarncrook's not going to get a shift with them, or
it could happen.
Do you try something where you give, and I feel like Robertson, we've used this so many times, but if you're going blender, maybe it's another spot for him. I think Yarncrook will get a couple shifts with those guys. It just, to me, seems like it's going to be a bit of a messy game in terms of lineups. And, Sheldon Keefe loves a blender, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, I guess if it's an indictment on anyone, it's probably Nick Robertson because Nick Robertson is supposed to be a top six player. I mean, we talked a lot about how, the only place he could play in the top six is the top six. So that's kind of the problem with Robertson. If you can't prove yourself at the depths of the lineup, it's hard to get to that top six level. And prove yourself there, although Matthew Knies maybe jumped ahead a little bit. But he might have been the easy pick in terms of, hey, let's give him a shot. Let's give a guy who can put the puck in the back of the net with more regularity a shot here. But if we're doing true meritocracy, it has been Noah Gregor outperforming anyone else who would be up for that promotion.
I thought it was interesting that Luke Fox said that, Martin Jones doesn't just like see himself as a starter. And I know maybe I'm just not giving enough credit to Martin Jones, but that he wants like fight for this spot. He had more wins than Samsonov last year. I think I just hadn't put him in the discussion at all to even get a run. Like the fact that he's playing right now, I've only attributed to, Joseph Wall's not in. But if it's going to be a competition for some of this game over the next 10 to, I guess, like 8 to 10 games, that would be very surprising to me.
It's an accomplished goaltender who has been hurt in the public eye by years of substandard starting goaltender numbers. Like, he didn't have a good run.
I'm excited to see it tonight.
But you can change as a goaltender. Jonathan Quick's changed. He's a backup now and a productive one.
He's going to see him tonight. Or they're both on the bench, unfortunately. But,
Martin Jones.
Sorry, Quick's on the bench, so maybe. I thought maybe if they're head-to-head, it would
be. It's a tough task in a head-to-head, but it's a lot of familiarity. But this is an opportunity for Jones. He's done it all as a goaltender in the NHL. Time to be a productive third.
All right, we'll take a quick break, and we'll be back to tee up puck drop between the Leafs and the Rangers. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Hi, it's Catherine from Great Canadian Meat. What makes a great gift? Well, I think we can all agree that a gift that's homemade is a great gift. A gift that's the same shape as a stocking, that's important. A gift they can eat? Definitely. And if they like to share, a gift you can eat too. Well, that settles it. Our Great Canadian Meat salami and pepperoni sticks are the perfect gift and a perfect addition to your charcuterie board. Pick up Great Canadian Meat at our store in Whitby or online at greatcanadianmeat.com.
Unhibernate, a verb. To laugh in the face of snow because you drive a Subaru. As in, when I unhibernate, I have the roads all to myself because my Subaru has symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and others don't. Or, the award-winning safety in my Subaru means I can unhibernate all winter while my neighbors stare longingly from their bedroom windows. Or my favorite usage, I'm going to unhibernate this winter by visiting my local Subaru dealer today. Welcome to Uncommon Winter Confidence.
Truck.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day. Think 2-minute truck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2-minute-truck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks, so give us a call today.
Move up to Heathwood. Hi, I'm Hugh Heron. Experience true luxury at Williamsburg Green in Kitchener. Heathwood's all-brick homes are built with upgraded features and elevated finishes. Chef-inspired kitchens, spa-like en-suites, and a fully finished lower level. Even better, Williamsburg Green has parks, playgrounds, and trails to explore. It's time to move up to Heathwood. Learn more at heathwood.com.
Remembering the unforgettable beats.
Big pimpin', baby.
The iconic rap verses.
Cause that's what I'm monster do.
The artists who shaped the culture.
I know when that hotline bling.
Flex your musical muscles with a new channel featuring hip-hop from the 2000s.
Is it worth it? Let me work it.
In the 2010s.
Be humble. Holla, sit down.
On Flex 2K. Now, Sirius XM Channel 49 and the Sirius XM app. Included in all trials and popular plans.
Under review.
And if someone says, well, he's good in the room, you know what? They don't have a good in the room stat in the standings. I've yet to find that category. It's one of the most overplayed things. They better be good in the room. That's the least you better bring when you join a National Hockey League team.
Under review with Mick Kerr. 11 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio.
Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app.
Hey Toronto, I'm David Morsuti, host of the daily Toronto Maple Leafs podcast, Locked On Leafs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network on the Sirius XM app. Every weekday, we bring you the latest Leafs news and analysis, break down all the action, including this game you're listening to right now, and preview the next one. We're giving you everything a Leafs fan could want, all in a daily 30-minute podcast. Download Locked On Leafs right now on the Sirius XM app, available with all trials and popular plans, or where you get your podcasts. Search Locked On Leafs.
If you're a soccer fan, you know that this music means one thing. The Champions League is on Sirius XM FC.
Hat-trick for Erling Haaland. Kane scores.
The top teams from around Europe are battling for club soccer's holy grail.
Real Madrid do what they do best. What a start for Inter.
Hear all the top Champions League matches all tournament long on Sirius XM FC 157 and streaming on the Sirius XM app.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen. Walks in. Put it between his legs. Shoots it. Score.
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
Hockey lives here.
Suzuki sweeps it. There's a chance. Rebound. Caulfield shoots and scores.
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Join me, Scott Laughlin, and Gord Stellick, along with former NHLer Mike Johnson for NHL Morning Skate, weekday morning, 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
Hi, this is Ray Hudson, and for all the biggest matches from club soccer's holy grail, the UEFA Champions League, tune in to Sirius XM FC 157.
The best hockey lives here.
Burns gets it back, stick handles to the backhand, moves in front, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
This is Molson Leafs Hockey. On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
There's a Molson with your name on it.
Just rely upon the things that he's done to prepare throughout his career. That's the beauty of having a veteran goaltender. So we're going to need him to be good tonight, but most importantly, the group in front of him is going to do a job.
Welcome to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. Eilish Forfar and Justin Cuthbert back-to-back for us, back-to-back for the Maple Leafs. They're at MSG to face the Rangers, and it might be the Martin Jones-Noah Gregor night. It'll go down in history.
Yeah, it might have to be. So back-to-back for the Maple Leafs, but not bringing the exact same lineup over tonight, too, of the back-to-back in the boroughs of New York. Unfortunately, Matthew Nyes dealing with an illness that might be going around and affecting more than just Matthew Nyes. So Noah Gregor gets moved up to the top line. He'll play with Matthews and Nylander tonight. The middle six is unchanged, but Ryan Reeves is also out. The Leafs are going 11 forwards, 7 defensemen based on line warm-ups and I guess the official team sheet by now, given that it 7
is on
p.m.
Twitter, so it is real.
Max Lajoie will play as a 7th defenseman as well. So Riley, Brody, Lagus, and McCabe Benoit and Timmons officially listed on the third pairing now, and Lajoie will sprinkle in some shifts.
So Leafs on a back-to-back game in 4 nights in the Big Apple, dealing with a little bit of an illness, playing Martin Jones in net for his first start as a Maple Leaf. But our player to watch is going to be Noah Gregor. Our player to watch, presented by Bet365. Visit the app for the latest odds and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus, Ontario only. Play responsibly. It was going to be Tyler Bertuzzi because we had all these cool, fun stats, but it's now Noah Gregor. He's up on the top line. I just feel this vibe. He's been working hard. He's super fast. He's going to get in there, and he's going to want to put the puck in the net. So a Noah Gregor goal, plus 500.
Plus 500. It's getting steamed a little bit, of course, because everyone knows that he's playing with Matthews.
Everybody knows he's our player to watch.
And Nylander now, so it might not be 500 anymore, but it's still a pretty juicy line for a guy who's going to play a lot more than he normally does and with a lot better players than he normally does. So a big opportunity for Noah Gregor tonight. And Sheldon Keefe's been waiting to give him this opportunity as well. Spoke, I think, just last week saying, hey, we want to give more time to Noah Gregor. We want to look for opportunities to get him more ice time, more platforms to give us more than he's been giving us, which is, great penalty killing and great contributions from the fourth line. He's been one of the major successes for the Maple Leafs in terms of off-season additions. He's been really, really good. And he's got an opportunity tonight to show that he can give a little more.
This is a big one for the Maple Leafs because the Rangers are off to a really great start, 19-6-1. They have the most wins in the Eastern Conference, one of the top teams in the NHL. They're getting great goaltending. They're starting to get production from all of their top players. So the Leafs are not in for an easy one. I'm also hoping that the momentum and the energy of last night, the emotion of John Tavares' 1,000th point against his former team, that there is some of that continuing tonight, right? Like a let's build something. I know you lost in overtime, but that's a very special thing for your captain to accomplish, not to be an emotional letdown the next night.
Yeah, it was a big night. It was a big night for Tavares, big night for the family.
Dad's trip.
Big night for the dads. The dads get to go to MSG tonight. So it's going to be hard to be as big, right? There's no milestone like Tavares hit on the line, but the Maple Leafs should be fired up to play in New York, fired up to play in front of their fathers.
All right, Joe Bowen and Jim Ralph will have the call of the first period after the break. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, the fan of the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
This league's crazy right now. This thing is all up in the air.
When it happens in the NFL, we're reacting to it on Sirius XM NFL Radio.
Travis Kelce. This dude sees the game differently and at a much higher level than a lot of people out there running around playing.
Get closer to the game with interviews with players, coaches, and executives.
Hall of Fame quarterback Troy Aikman joining us.
Dak has always had all of the intangibles, and it's why I've always had so much respect for him.
Nobody covers the game like Sirius XM NFL Radio, Channel 88.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind, wrist the line, and walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Under review.
And if someone says, well, he's good in the room, you know what? They don't have a good in the room stat in the standings. I've yet to find that category. It's one of the most overplayed things. They better be good in the room. That's the least you better bring when you join a National Hockey League team.
Under review
with Mick Kerr.
11 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio.
Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app.
Hey, Toronto. I'm David Morsuti, host of the daily Toronto Maple Leafs podcast, Locked On Leafs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network on the Sirius XM app. Every weekday, we bring you the latest Leafs news and analysis, break down all the action, including this game you're listening to right now, and preview the next one. We're giving you everything a Leafs fan could want, all in a daily 30-minute podcast. Download Locked On Leafs right now on the Sirius XM app, available with all trials and popular plans, or where you get your podcasts. Search Locked On Leafs.
The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Network Radio.
Mike Johnson.
5-on-5 defensive game for Tampa is getting to the point, Gord, where it is a concern. And it's not just because Vasilevsky hasn't played the entire season. They're giving up almost 4 goals a game. No matter how good your offense is, that's not going to be able to be sustainable.
You have the latest opinion and analysis you need on the home of hockey, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
It's between the Ken Hitchcock dots. And the Sens are too loosey-goosey there. They talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk. Ottawa's not like that. And until that part really improves, I don't believe they'll be a playoff team. They'll wow you. They'll wow the fans. They'll win or lose 5-4. But right now, they're middling right now. They're a middling hockey club.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
24/7 hockey talk.
One of the greatest goaltenders of all time. Patrick Waugh, when you put your hands up, did you know at that moment that you were done?
No, I did not. Unfortunately, it happened. Just gave me a chance to have a fresh start somewhere else and be traded to Colorado was a good opportunity. Sometimes you need that little, change, and it was welcome for me.
Sirius XM, NHL Network Radio,
Sirius XM 91.
and on your schedule with the Sirius XM app.
The Point with Boomer Gordon.
18 months ago, I had New Flyers head coach John Tortorella. And I asked him what he was worried about the club, and he said, I don't like the room. We have a bad room. And I'm like, you haven't even coached this team yet. A year and a half later, John Tortorella loves his room. He loves this team, and he loves that they compete every night.
Point with Boomer Gordon. 1 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Leafs Radio Network.
The Leaf road trip continues. They are in Manhattan and the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden. And the Leafs will tangle with the New York Rangers, who are playing exceptionally well. They're 19-6-1. They have the record of 9-2-0 on home ice. And they're getting excellent goaltending from both Igor Shesterkin, who will play tonight, as well as Jonathan Quick. And Martin Jones makes his first ever start for the Toronto Maple Leafs. I think you have to push that red button over there, right there. Yeah, that one. Try that. Oh, maybe not. Oh, I'll cover until you're ready.
Jitters for Jones, 226, 163, and 135 career. So pretty capable hands, and we saw Jonathan Quick had a huge win against his former teammates, the Los Angeles Kings, the last time the New York Rangers were out. By the way, Shesterkin, back-to-back losses coming into this game before Jonathan Quick came in and ended the 2-game losing streak for the Rangers.
We were just reminiscing about John Amarante, who used to sing the national anthem at the Garden for a number of events and passed away a few years ago. But the anthem singer on Long Island last night had a little trouble with the Canadian anthem. Now, the Rangers right off the bat get the puck into the Leaf zone, but don't get a shot on goal as it's played out into center ice. Leafs going with 11 forwards, 7 defensemen, and Noah Gregor gets elevated from the 4th line up to the number 1 line as he has the puck on the right wing boards and chipping it out and down the ice, but it's going to turn into an icing on the fresh ice as Ryan Lindgren will let it go by, and they'll bring it back into the Leaf end.
Well, we will see how smart I am tonight.
Oh, please. I already know that.
I know, but I think we need proof.
We need more than that.
We have said, or I have, I know I have, you've agreed with me that Noah Gregor deserves an opportunity to play up the lineup.
Yep.
Matthew Nye's out with an illness that has been going around the Leaf dressing room, so Gregor gets bumped up.
Nylander in across the line as the puck comes down into the Rangers zone. He'll play it around back of the net, cut off there by Zach Jones, and play back up on the left wing side. And the Rangers, Chris Kreider, will send it back, and now the Rangers get it back out at center, and Kreider is able to tip it down into the Toronto end. McCabe around on the boards for the 1,000-point man, John Tavares, as it's swung up on the left wing side for Marner. He'll chip it out at center. Bertuzzi got by his man, but the puck had squirted away from him. And now back to retrieve it. Zibanejad sending it around the boards, and the Rangers get it out at center ice. The Garden went under a lot of renovation a number of years ago. It's one of the great venues now to go and see a hockey game in, as it is brought out now by McCabe. He'll get to the red line and shoot it in. Puck goes around back of the net. Matthews trying to free it up. Banked into the far corner. And the Rangers get it out into the center ice area and backhanded down into the Toronto zone. Lafreniere going in there after it. Couldn't get to it. Neither could Prochek. And the Leafs have played it back out at center ice. Things starting rather slowly here. Jones getting it ahead. Neither team has had a shot on goal as yet. Rangers get it across, and now with a shot that went high and wide of the Leaf goal. Comes back to the point. Trapped there and kept in. Panarin trying to work it into the far corner. Plays it in there. Now looks for a pass in front of the net as it comes back to the blue line. Long shot by Panarin, and it deflects wide of the Toronto net. Rangers still with possession in the offensive zone. Dished off on the wing and then intercepted by Matthews. He's just going to get rid of it to facilitate a player change. As going back is Lindgren for the Rangers. Pass ahead. Lindgren gets it out at center to the line. Got a return pass and feathered it into the zone off Nick Bonino's stick. Puck around back of the net. Trying to come out with it was Toulet, and he was unable to do so. The Leafs are able to punch it off the boards and get it down into Ranger territory. Lindgren going back to retrieve it. The pass comes right in front of the net and almost intercepted by Calle Yarncrook. Rangers play it around the boards. Timmons pinches. Tried to keep it in. Got assistance there from Domi, but the pass from Domi to the other defenseman, Benoit, was intercepted, and the Rangers have played it down into the Leaf end to get a change going.
You ever heard 18,000 people gasp before?
Just like right then I did, yes. Followed by, what was he doing? Round back of the net for Jacob Trouba. Reverses the puck into the near corner for Gustafsson. He'll get it out at center. Leafs are there to play it back. And then McCabe gets hooked, and there's going to be a penalty here to the New York Rangers. Gregor goes around back of the net, and Jones heads for the bench. Extra man on for Toronto. The puck is dropped back to that extra man, and it's Austin Matthews. Matthews coming through the neutral zone. Drops the puck back now for Willie Nylander. Sliding in over the line. He's through the defense. Right big side. A shot scores. Matthews set up by Nylander with the extra attacker on. And the Maple Leafs have jumped to a 1-0 lead. And Matthews has opened the scoring back-to-back nights on this road trip.
Comes in a delayed penalty, but Willie Nylander, it's essentially, Joe, a 1-on-4. Coming over the line. Blake Wheeler was going to take a hooking penalty when he took down Jake McCabe. Nylander picks the puck up at his own blue line, and 4 Rangers standing around watching him get into the slot and then look up, throw it to his left, right onto the tape of Austin Matthews.
20th goal of the season for the Leaf sniper.
And again, 5-hole. Hard shot along the ice.
Now you're giving away secrets here by suggesting that there's a change in
well, this
you know what I mean?
This isn't, as long as it isn't on television too.
Oh, it should
I don't
be
think
fine.
I've given anything away.
Yeah, we'll be fine. Pass into the Leaf zone. 1-0 Toronto, and Austin Matthews has picked up his 20th goal of the season. Pass deflects into the near corner. Trying to work it along the boards. Centered. Pass into the goal crease area. Jones still has not had a shot registered on his behalf as the Leafs get it through center. And here's Tavares in across the line to Marner. Trying to make a pass in for Bertuzzi, who was cutting for the net. And it went into the far corner. Brought back at center by Vincent Trocheck. Played deep into the Toronto end. Timmons starting with Lagesson, starting out at center. Got it up on the wing for Domi. Brought back now. Here's Lagesson snapping it into the zone and around back of the Ranger goal. It'll be grabbed by Zach Jones. Jones plays it off the boards into neutral ice. Body to knock down. The Rangers lose the puck. Leafs back in. Robertson with a shot into the glove of Shesterkin. And play will stop with the Maple Leafs leading 1-0 on the goal by Austin Matthews from William Nylander. His 20th goal of the season.
An important goal when you look at the New York Rangers this year when scoring first, Joe, 14-2-1. Just 5-4 when giving up the opening goal of the game. Leafs, we already covered it last night. It doesn't seem to matter. Records are almost identical, scoring first or giving up the opening goal.
Well, the Maple Leafs are one of the worst teams for scoring in the first period. They now have 21. The Montreal Canadiens have just 14. And another shot off the face-off. as Domi wins the draw, comes back to the point, and it's 2-0 Toronto. Connor Timmons gets the shot away, and Domi won the draw cleanly, and Ty up into the father's box up there is enjoying that one, and it may be both Ty and Yarncrook.
Yeah, I'm
off
with you.
the face-off scrum.
I think Domi won the draw, but it was Yarncrook that threw it back to the right point. And Connor Timmons just snaps it right away through a maze. And Shesterkin was starting to lean to his right, and the puck zipped over his left shoulder. And the Leafs quickly have jumped out to a 2-0 lead at Madison Square Garden.
And a rarity, the Leafs defense scoring a goal as it's played out into the center ice area and down into the Ranger zone.
Only the 6th goal scored by a defenseman this year for Toronto.
Pass in on goal to the side of the net, smothered by Jones, and he's going to hold on.
In fact, when you compare these two teams, it's incredible. Morgan Riley has 4 of the 6. Mark Giordano scored in Nashville is the other one. So Timmons scores a big goal there. The New York Rangers, the Leafs had 6 goals from the blue line now. The Rangers have 15. And points are now 67 for the Ranger defense and 45 for the Leaf defense.
Goal comes at 5:06. A centering pass stopped by Jones. Another shot trickles into the net, and they're going in a hurry here. The Rangers cut the lead in half on a scramble play in front of the goal.
And it's the first shot on goal as Martin Jones overplays this. He's got TJ Brody standing in front of him. And Martin Jones moved to his right to get around Brody, and I think this goes through Brody's legs.
Blake Wheeler ended up sending the shot towards the net, and you're right, I think it goes through Brody and off his leg and into the net, and Wheeler is going to get credit for the goal.
May have even been going wide. Guess that's officially the second shot on goal for the Rangers, but a little over 5 minutes into this game, it's already 2-1.
There's Camp, upended, penalty coming. Leafs have another opportunity here with an extra attacker coming onto the ice, and now it's touched by New York, and some shoving here in front of the net with Yarncrook and Lindgren, and now Kreider is in there as well, and some smiles all around. But it is a 2-1 hockey game with the Maple Leafs going to the first power play opportunity of the contest. First period, it's been exciting, presented by Bet365. Visit the app for the latest odds and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus, Ontario only. Play responsibly. Zibanejad gets the gate.
David Camp that got tripped up in behind the Ranger net. So the Leafs, who scored a delayed penalty when Austin Matthews scored, will now go to their first power play of the game.
And Riley with the face-off win from Tavares, slides it off to Matthews on the left wing boards. Down into the corner it goes. Marner coming out of the corner, top of the circles. Down low, Matthews, back to Marner. Marner returns the favor, centered in front of the net. Tavares couldn't get a shot. Matthews playing it back to the blue line. Now to Nylander, in front for Marner. Back it goes to Morgan Riley. His shot is being deflected and sent up into the screen, out of play with 1:34 to go in the power play. Wheeler with his 3rd goal of the season to cut the Leaf lead to 2-1.
Rangers have been pretty solid on the penalty kill. 8th overall in the National Hockey League. They've killed off 8 of 9 in the last 3 games coming into this one.
Draw to the left of Shesterkin with 13:34 to play in the period. And again, Tavares wins the draw. Riley walks the line. Now to Nylander. Return to Riley. Riley with a point shot that deflected wide of the net. Marner misses a hit, but they get the puck back to the point. Nylander keeping it in. To Morgan Riley. Back to Willie. Through his skates. He has to recover the puck. Got it in front for Marner. To the near side, and a shot by Tavares went wide. And they've whistled it down.
The puck might have gone over the glass.
Maybe it was,
yep. The boards and over the glass, but John Tavares, a pretty sharp angle to the left of Shesterkin. But tries to one-time the perfect shot. He's below the circle. to the left of the Ranger goaltender. One times it, and there was a little bit of room there.
Going to go off the crossbar? I think it might have.
Might have caught the post or crossbar.
Rangers win this face-off, get it out, and down to the lead blue line, and Morgan Riley goes back. Riley dropping it back for Matthews. Through the neutral zone, straight through into the Ranger end for Marner. Marner back for Matthews, swung around to the far side. Riley playing it back to the point. Played into the corner once more. Tavares back for Matthews. Back to Tavares. Coming out. Nope. Goes around back of the goal. Plays it back to the point. Nylander walking the line. Still with it. Looking around. Gives it back to Morgan Riley. Riley returns to Nylander. Tried to center. It was blocked. Marner is able to recover the puck. Now brings it out in front of the net. And they didn't get a shot on goal. And it was knocked by the Rangers out at center ice. 18 seconds left to go in the power play. The Leafs are 3 of 11 in their last 5 games. In across the line, they had just one power play opportunity. Then a shot there by McCabe was almost a knuckleball that bounced into Shesterkin, who was able to clear it away. One shot on the power play. That's all they got as the Rangers are back at full strength. Lindgren playing it off into the corner. Now plays it out and down the ice, and icing is going to be the call with 11:46 remaining in the first period. The faceoff coming back into New York territory.
The great start for the New York Rangers, tied in the Eastern Conference with the Boston Bruins at 39 points, only behind Vegas for first place in the National Hockey League. But Rangers went on a run from October 21st to December 3rd, 16-2-1 during that stretch.
That'll build you up a little bit of room in the standings, won't it?
A little bit of playoff comfort.
Trouba gets the puck out off a skate. Rangers get their change going. The Leafs counter quickly with Robertson dropping for Domi, and that went off a stick and up into the screen out of play. And a face-off coming back as the Leafs hold a 2-1 lead on the boys from Manhattan with 11:30 to go in the first period. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
The fantasy football playoffs are here. Touchdown! In one of the most chaotic fantasy football seasons ever, you need Fantasy Sports Radio's experts to guide you to a championship.
Thank you guys for making me a better fantasy player.
From start-sit advice to how to pivot from a key injury, set a winning lineup with the best insight from our experts.
Patrick Mahomes against the Patriots, I'm expecting big-time points.
It's all on Fantasy Sports Radio, Channel 87, and the Sirius XM app, where fantasy football championships are won.
The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Network Radio. Mike Johnson.
5-on-5 defensive game for Tampa is getting to the point, Gord, where it is a concern. And it's not just because Vasilevsky hasn't played the entire season. They're giving up almost 4 goals a game. No matter how good your offense is, that's not going to be able to be sustainable.
Get the latest opinion and analysis you need on the home of hockey, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
It's between the Ken Hitchcock dots. And the Sens are too loosey-goosey there. They talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk. Ottawa's not like that. And until that part really improves, I don't believe they'll be a playoff team. They'll wow you. They'll wow the fans. They'll win or lose 5-4. But right now, they're middling right now. They're a middling hockey club.
The Power Play. Weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Hi, this is Ray Hudson, and for all the biggest matches from club soccer's holy grail, the UEFA Champions League, tune in to Sirius XM FC 157.
Radio Network.
Leafs in a 1-goal hockey game, and that has been the norm for quite a while. 9 of the last 10 have been decided by a single goal. And the other night was the 12th overtime goal game that the Leafs have been involved in.
And Leafs fared fairly well in overtime. 7-5 now, though. Ilya Samsonov is 1-4. And the one game that he won was the very first game of the season at home against Montreal, a 6-5 shootout win. Marner had the winner.
Leafs win the face-off. and play it into the corner. That looks like it's offside. And yeah, it's going to be whistled down by the linesmen, who are Ryan Gibbons, who made the short trip from Long Island into Manhattan. Dan Kelly has joined him on the lines. Justin Kia and Jean Hebert are the referees this evening. And John Tavares will be celebrated, I'm sure, with the 1,000th point on Thursday night when the Maple Leafs entertain the Columbus Blue Jackets. Nylander lost the draw after Matthews had been waved out. And the Rangers send a long lead pass in on the left wing that misfires there for Jimmy Vesey and turns into an icing goal.
Matthews, by the way, with his 20th goal. First player in the NHL this season to reach that. So that also puts him back atop the National Hockey League in that category. He was tied with Nikita Kucherov coming in. Got 19 apiece. Brock Besser has 18.
Sorry, Jimmy. One of the things that used to happen back in the 70s was when they scored a goal, the bench got dumped. Everybody came on to celebrate, right? Well, we saw that last night with 6 seconds left, and the whole bench came on to celebrate John Tavares' 1,000th point. But there is a penalty for that.
And delay a game, but I think they do allow it
under certain circumstances.
If you score your 1,000th point with 6 seconds left against your former team to tie the game. I think
so there is fine print. Oh, all right. Here's Matthews coming through center, got across the line, and the Rangers are able to restore it and punch it out into the center ice area and bring it into the Leaf zone. Working wide, looking for a man in front of the net. A backhand try went wide of the goal. Wheeler trying to backhand it in there as it goes down into the corner. Gaudreau played it into the slot. It'll come back to the point. Long shot deflects wide of the Toronto goal. Matthews getting it out in front, and then a block made there by Benoit, who had lost or broken his stick. And he made a kick save and a beauty to deflect this up into the screen.
When you talk, I don't know whether this is guilt or desperation. But Benoit somehow ends up losing his stick, and that is the only player between the shooter and Martin Jones to try to stop it. And I mean, this is a one-timer. I think it goes off his right shin pad.
Yeah.
Somewhere Eddie Jockman's got a big smile on his face.
Oh, no, I was a split save and a beauty. Bouncing puck wide of the Toronto goal, fed up on the near boards. Rangers keeping the puck in. Kreider getting it along the wall, kept alive by Lafreniere. Goes into the corner, back of the net. Panarin back for Lafreniere, and it's knocked away by the Maple Leafs, and now they break out on the right wing. Yarncrook trying to get it ahead, and he does. Driving the net now was McMahon, and it was knocked away from him as he took it right to the hoop. Leafs get it back out into the center ice area. Bobby McMahon in the game tonight. Ryan Reeves is the scratch. And as we mentioned, Matthew Nyes out of the game with some influenza as a long shot on Shesterkin is knocked around back of the net. Tavares line over the boards for Toronto. Chopped out at center ice by New York. Feathered ahead to the line and broken up there by the Maple Leafs as it's played into the corner. And now the Leafs try to break out now on the right wing side. And then overskating the puck was Max Lajoie, but he gets McCabe back there to help him out. Puck still in the Toronto zone. Seventh defenseman for the Maple Leafs is Lajoie. In on the right side for Wheeler. A shot in front of the goal. As Jones was kind of swimming around there. The Leafs finally get free of it, but there's going to be a penalty.
Martin Jones may have poke-checked that before it got to the net. And now the Leaf penalty kill, which has been outstanding of late. Looking at it again, yeah, Joe, this is a poke check by Martin Jones. We mentioned Eddie Jockman earlier. He'd be thrilled with that. Johnny Bauer might have loved that as much as anybody.
You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
What's up, Leafs fans? Another awesome night here on TSI. Thank you to each and every one of you for hanging out with us. Please don't forget to hit that like button as it helps bring more Leafs fans into the chat. The more the better. A big shout out to our insiders and VIP members. Your support is truly appreciated. I cannot explain to you what it means for this community. Please consider joining our community. It's only 99 cents a month. I made it as low as possible so that we can get more and more people joining our community. Awesome member exclusive emojis in the chat during these Leafs games, and add your name to the scroll down below. Anyways, enough of the necessary evils to keep growing this amazing Toronto sports community and Maple Leafs community. Back to Leafs hockey. Go Leafs go. I'll see you guys in the chat. Peace.
Usage. I am going to unhibernate this winter by visiting my local Subaru dealer today. Welcome to Uncommon Winter Confidence.
Truck.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day. Think 2-minute truck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2-minute-truck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks, so give us a call today.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
Nylander closing in a goal! Charge!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
You're right. That was a great poke check by Martin Jones, and then the penalty taken by Jake McCabe, and the Rangers go to the power play. They are ranked second in the NHL, 24 of 80, 30%.
He's penalty killed 27 of 28. They have killed off now in the last 10 games.
And they win the face-off by Camp and ice it immediately. Brought out at center now by Adam Fox. A lead pass to the blue line didn't work. Leafs are able to get it under control back of their goal, play it up on the wing, and Marner will coolly bring it to center. Waits a little while, thought about going in over the line, then sends a long, weak shot wide of the goal. Rangers start back. Yarncrook hustling back into the picture as it comes back up on the left wing side, and it is shot in by Zibanejad. Played around the boards. Marner overskated the puck. It goes down into the corner, and Benoit trying to get to it, and it is sent down the ice again by the Maple Leafs. Five of 15 in the last 5 games for the Rangers. As they bring it to center ice, left wing feed, Kreider, who is the leading power play specialist. It comes back to the point. A pass onto the right wing side. Unable to shoot it was Panarin. Panarin playing it back to the point. Fox getting it back to him. Panarin returns the favor. Fox looking to the other side. Kreider stepping in. Back to Fox. Here comes the shot. That's deflected wide of the goal. Bouncing puck goes to the far side. Zibanejad getting it back to the blue line. Near side for Panarin. A deflection in front of the goal was knocked away before it reached Jones's crease. Back to the far side. Another deflection goes back of the Leafs. Goal played up on the boards, and it's going to be cleared out into neutral ice, but not deep enough to get a wholesale change of the Leaf penalty killers, although a giveaway now by the Rangers will facilitate that. New York doing likewise. 8 seconds left in the power play. Played in on the left wing and down into the corner goes Brodzinski, and the Leafs intercept that and back out and down the ice, and that will do it. Just one shot registered during the power play. 7:06 to go, first period. The Leafs with a 2-1 lead. Flipped into the Toronto bench on the rush by New York. Faceoff coming in the center ice area. 6-3. The Leafs have outshot the New Yorkers and have a 1-goal lead. Matthews and Timmons for Toronto. Wheeler scoring for the New York Rangers.
It's too bad for Martin Jones comes into this game with a goals against average of 6, but at least the save percentage was 900. Top 9 out of 10. Gives up a goal on the first shot that he faces, so his save percentage goes down and the goals against average went up at the time of the goal.
From the Department of Figures Don't Lie, but liars can figure. As the Rangers get it out at center ice. Played down into the corner. Around back of the Toronto goal. Timmons is able to come out with it. He has the go-ahead goal, and now Marner gets to center and tries to make a backhand pass ahead for Nick Robertson that didn't connect. And the Rangers have it back in their own zone. Robertson chasing after it. He's out on the line here with Marner across the line. Robertson going to the front of the net. Marner with a weak shot off a stick that went harmlessly wide of the goal, and the Rangers get it out at center. Matthews tried to knock it down, but the Rangers get it in over the line. Gaudreau with a drop pass, and a wrist shot went wide of the net. Pitlick in the far corner trying to work it free. Rangers get it back to the point. Over it comes near side for Lindgren. Lindgren back to the blue line again. A shot deflects wide of the Leaf goal. Bouncing puck in the near corner. Round back of the net into the far side. Pitlick to the front of the net, but will get the puck back at the blue line. Now off to Lindgren. Lindgren doesn't shoot it. Holds into the slot area, but now a return pass. Lindgren goes after it into the corner. Can't come up with it. And Timmons trying to punch it up on the wing. Marner is able to get it freed up, and Matthews gets it out at center. Matthews to the line. Dropping it off for Gregor. Back to Matthews in! And that went over top of the net, but a nice little feed from Noah Gregor to Spring Matthews, who got around the defense. Just a really nice give and go. He hasn't looked out of place on that line, has he?
Nope. Speed and then pretty silky mitts to get that to Austin Matthews, who was in behind the Ranger defense.
Pass by Nylander was out of the reach of its intended receiver, but now an errant pass by New York turns into an icing with 4 minutes and 58 seconds left. Austin Matthews, 65 multi-goal games. The most recent was a couple of games ago when he scored twice against Nashville, but now he has scored single tallies on this road trip on both Long Island and in Madison Square Garden. He is 6 shy of the Leaf record set by Darryl Sittler, 71 multi-goal games. He bypassed Rick Vibe, who was second on that list with 64, but Matthews now with 65.
By the way, Matthews the fastest to 20 goals since Wendell Clark in 93-94.
Flipped around back of the net. Yarncrook after the puck in the near corner. Yarncrook cycles it back behind the goal. Bertuzzi had a man going to the front of the net. It was Tavares, but he couldn't send. Now he sends it in front of the goal, and it's knocked away. Tavares gets it again. A pass in front. They score. Yarncrook on the doorstep, and John Tavares has 1,001 points.
The Leafs kept throwing it to the net and finally got the rebound that paid off. Tavares with the shot, but Kelly Yarncrook standing in front of the Ranger net. Shovels in the rebound. Bertuzzi fired it to the net. Tavares had a couple of chances, got it to the net. And for some reason, Kelly Yarncrook is left wide open in front and simply chips a backhand past Igor Shesterkin. And the Leafs have built a 3-1 lead. And we mentioned Shesterkin had given up 9 goals in his previous 2 starts. So he might be hitting a bit of a rough patch here.
7th of the season for Calle Yarncrook. The puck comes back to the point, and fanning on it there on a bouncing disc was McCabe. Leafs get it back through center and send it in over the line. Marner driving the net down to Matthews. Back to Marner. They score! Tic-tac-toe! And Mitchell Marner has gotten the Leafs into a 4-1 lead. And Dad Paul, I'm sure, will be happy about this one.
Great give and go between Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner. Marner picks the puck up on the right wing boards coming over the Ranger line, throws it back to the high slot to Austin Matthews, and then heads to the net. And Matthews returns it, and this is just a simple redirection. As Marner gliding towards the near post, takes the Matthews pass and deflects it past Shesterkin, and the Ranger defense, Joe, has really been average in this start tonight.
2 goals in 21 seconds increases the lead to 4-1 here in the period. Tavares on the forecheck, and it's knocked around back of the net. 4 minutes to play in the first period. Yarncrook and Marner score 21 seconds apart. Rangers sending it down into the Toronto zone. Tavares up against the boards, has it knocked back of the net. Benoit on the wing now for Timmons. Rink wide pass for Tavares. He's able to secure the puck playing it back into his own zone to allow a change of players, and now Timmons will fire it deep into Ranger territory. Jonathan Quick played the other night for the Rangers, but this continues. He may be playing tonight as well. Shot goes wide of the goal and around back of the net. McMahon knocks his man down. The puck kicked back of the goal. McMahon bulls his way in front. Oh, and a pass there, and it was knocked away. Domi had a great scoring chance. Bobby McMahon doing a great job on the forecheck. Played along the boards and out at center ice off his stick and down into the Leaf end, and another icing against New York. Bobby McMahon has sort of been the good luck charm when he's been in the lineup.
Yeah, 4-0 so far. He played both games in Sweden, where the Leafs won and then was taken out of the lineup, but they came back and lost in overtime to the Chicago Blackhawks. And trying to do a quick check. I believe the 4 goals is a season high for the Leafs in a single period. I know they had the win against Minnesota at home where they scored 7.
Shot from the blue line was blocked. Rangers are able to get it out, and now through center ice and brought to the line and in. Backhand pass into the slot area, taken to safety by the Maple Leafs. Yarncrook getting it out and down to the Ranger blue line. New York back in their own zone. Dropping it off there with Jimmy Vesey. Over on the far side, Braden Schneider gets it up on the left wing. Vesey couldn't get around Yarncrook cleanly. Back in over the Toronto blue line, though, and it's pushed around past Brody to the far side, and it's going to skim its way all the way out at neutral ice. Gustafsson for the Rangers. In across the line. Shot blocked by the defense. Launched high to center ice by Toronto. 2 minutes and 5 seconds left to go in the period. And a pass in goes wide of the net. Jones let it go as it goes in back of the goal. Centering pass comes off the stick and back towards the blue line. Gregor couldn't come up with it. Brody after it as it comes around on the near wing. A centering effort was blocked, and it's going to trickle out into the center ice area, forcing the Rangers and Lafreniere back into neutral ice, where the Leafs have now secured it, shot it right back into the zone. Looking for more, are they? Bertuzzi along with Matthews and Marner out there now. And the Rangers are going to launch it high to center ice, and Bertuzzi will play it back into the Toronto end. Marner starts back up on the left wing. Shot in. Mitch Marner now with 27 points after that goal. Rangers get it out. Play it down into the Toronto end, forcing Timmons back. He sweeps it around the boards. Marner got it freed up. Bertuzzi with a little touch pass for Matthews, but he doesn't get it out. But then quick stick stole it right back. Boy, that was off. He had made a mistake. He didn't get it out. But as soon as that Ranger player touched it, that stick was lifted and, excuse me, this is mine. And out it went. Just a little play. But instead of having a hornet's nest start, the puck is out at center ice.
A little David Blaine-ish, wasn't it?
Yes.
Magician.
Yep.
Here you go. You think you got it?
Yeah. Nothing up the sleeve. Watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat. Played down into the Ranger zone. Robertson couldn't come up with it. Launched high to center ice. Oh, Timmons got fortunate there as he gets it ahead. Across the line for Tavares. On the wing for Yarncrook. Round back of the net for Robertson. Robertson curls. Back to the point. Brody, left wing side, Riley. Shot coming, deflects wide. 6 seconds left in the period. And the Leafs are going to come out after the first 20 minutes with a dominant 4-1 lead.
Coming in, the Rangers won 9 of 11 at Madison Square Garden. The Leafs come out in the first period and score as many goals as the Rangers had shots. 4-1 the Leafs after 20 minutes of play. Going back to the Minnesota game, they had 3 in the first, 3 in the third. In that win over the Wild, a 7-4 victory over Minnesota. So a season high for the Leafs in goals scored in a single period. But this is a Ranger team, even though they've got a couple of forwards out, Capo Caco and Philip Hedl are huge losses for them up front, but still plenty of firepower in the Ranger lineup. So the Leafs you've got to kind of regroup. A little early to try to shut it down. And the rest of the way, but certainly should have enough to get something out of this game.
Matthews, Timmons, Yarncrook, and Marner score for the Maple Leafs. Wheeler for the Rangers. 4-1 Toronto after 20 minutes. We'll step aside for Eilish Forfire and Justin Cuthbert in our first period intermission. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
This league's crazy right now. This thing is all up in the air.
When it happens in the NFL, we're reacting to it on Sirius XM NFL Radio.
Travis Kelce. This dude sees the game differently and at a much higher level than a lot of people out there running around playing.
Get closer to the game with interviews with players, coaches, and executives.
Hall of Fame quarterback Troy Aikman joining us.
Dak has always had all of the intangibles, and it's why I've always had so much respect for him.
Nobody covers the game like Sirius XM NFL Radio, Channel 88.
Join me, Ward Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Network Radio. Mike Johnson.
5-on-5 defensive game for Tampa is getting to the point, Gord, where it is a concern. And it's not just because Vasilevsky hasn't played the entire season. They're giving up almost 4 goals a game. No matter how good your offense is, that's not going to be able to be sustainable.
Get the latest opinion and analysis you need on the home of hockey, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
It's between the Ken Hitchcock dots. And the Sens are too loosey-goosey there. They talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk. Ottawa's not like that. And until that part really improves, I don't believe they'll be a playoff team. They'll wow you. They'll wow the fans. They'll win or lose 5-4. But right now, they're middling right now. They're a middling hockey club.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
The Leafs Radio Network.
Welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. Eilish Forfire and Justin Cuthbert here for your intermission shows. Back-to-back for us. Maple Leafs did not look like they were on a back-to-back, coming up with a 4-1 lead after the first period against the New York Rangers. I was a little worried considering the way I could lay this out for you. They're on a back-to-back. It's the dad's trip. There's apparently some sort of illness going through the team. You know, it's MSG. They had this emotional night last night with John Tavares, and I thought, well, let's see if they have a sleepy start. They did the opposite of that.
Yeah, sometimes when you're at your most unprepared, you get the best results. Like, what's that? We'll just wing it, right? We'll wing it, and it ends up being pretty good. We've winged a couple shows. They ended up being pretty good, at least some of them. At least I hope. But yeah, this seems to be a bit of a wing it night for the Maple Leafs, where you just got to go instinctual. And I think a lot of the offensive instincts kind of came through in that first period. 4 goals. 4 different goal scorers, a lot of guys on the board early. That was a really, really positive period, despite at times it looking not the cleanest.
Mm-hmm. We got lots to go through here. Leafs with 4 goals. Matthews, Timmons, Yarncrook, and Marner. And we had Martin Jones standing strong in net in that first period. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back with some more thoughts on the first period. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Santa baby, bring on the merry and bring on the bright. Sing along with modern holiday hits on Holly, Channel 79, or revisit Christmas Past with the nostalgic sound of holiday traditions on Channel 71.
Christmas.
Listen now through Christmas Day and enjoy dozens of unique holiday channels anytime you want in the Sirius XM app.
The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Network Radio. Mike Johnson.
5-on-5 defensive game for Tampa is getting to the point, Gord, where it is a concern. And it's not just because Vasilevsky hasn't played the entire season. They're giving up almost 4 goals a game. No matter how good your offense is, that's not going to be able to be sustainable.
Get the latest opinion and analysis you need on the home of hockey, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
It's between the Ken Hitchcock dots. And the Sens are too loosey-goosey there. They talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk. Ottawa's not like that. And until that part really improves, I don't believe they'll be a playoff team. They'll wow you. They'll wow the fans. They'll win or lose 5-4. But right now, they're middling right now. They're a middling hockey club.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. 24/7 hockey talk.
One of the greatest goaltenders of all time. Patrick Waugh, when you put your hands up, did you know at that moment that you were done?
No, I did not. Unfortunately, it happened. Just gave me a chance to have a fresh start somewhere else and be traded to Colorado was a good opportunity. Sometimes you need that little, change, and it was welcome for me.
Sirius XM, NHL Network Radio.
Sirius XM 91.
And on your schedule with the Sirius XM app. The Point with Boomer Gordon.
18 months ago, I had New Flyers head coach John Tortorella. And I asked him what he was worried about the club, and he said, I don't like the room. We have a bad room. And I'm like, you haven't even coached this team yet. A year and a half later, John Tortorella loves his room. He loves this team, and he loves that they compete every night.
Points with Boomer Gordon. 1 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
If you're a soccer fan, you know that this music means one thing. The Champions League is on Sirius XM FC.
Hat-trick for Erling Haaland. Kane scores!
The top teams from around Europe are battling for club soccer's holy grail.
Real Madrid do what they do best. What a start for Inter!
Hear all the top Champions League matches all tournament long on Sirius XM FC 157 and streaming on the Sirius XM app.
Under review.
And if someone says, well, he's good in the room, you know what? They don't have a good in the room stat in the standings. I've yet to find that category. It's one of the most overplayed things. They better be good in the room. That's the least you better bring when you join a National Hockey League team.
Under review with Mick Kern. 11 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen, walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM Radio Network.
We're back on Most Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. The period started off very, very good for Austin Matthews, who leads the NHL, the first player to 20 goals this season, getting the first one of the game tonight and last night. So he's striking early.
Yeah, but let's give some credit to William Nylander, who went through all 5 skaters on the ice for the Rangers in order to set up Austin Matthews for that goal. Just another example of William Nylander being on his game, bringing his game to another level, and just being a consistent point producer for the Maple Leafs this season.
All right, Leafs lead 4-1 after the first period. We'll take a quick break, and we'll come back and tell you what's going on in the NHL scoreboard. You're listening to Most Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Every year, fans debate over the draft. Who's going first? At Chuck's, they already know. The top draft choice is that icy cold 18-ounce Molson Canadian you're holding, and it's just $4 at Chuck's during Leafs games. No wonder that at draft time, Canadians are always in high demand. Chuck's Roadhouse Bar and Grill. Food the way it ought to be. Price the way it used to be.
NHL All-Star Thursday is coming to Toronto with 3 exciting events in one star-filled night. First, celebrity captains select their teams in the Tim Hortons NHL All-Star Player Draft. Then, the 1967 Stanley Cup champion Maple Leafs are honored in the NHL Alumni Man of the Year. And finally, the best in women's hockey compete in the Canadian Tire PWHL 3-on-3 Showcase. It's NHL All-Star Thursday on February 1st. Buy tickets now starting at $44 at NHL.com/Thursday.
Move up to Heathwood. Hi, I'm Hugh Heron. Experience a new level of luxury at Williamsburg Green. Your new single-family home will have all the modern features you dream about, even a fully finished lower level. Kitchener's newest master plan community with bike trails, parks, and a new library. Williamsburg Green has it all. It's time to move up to Heathwood. Learn more at heathwood.com.
There are many peculiar words in the English language. Words like salivigant, peregrinate, nemophilus, peripatetic, and conviviality. Yet, there is no word for getting the most out of winter in your Subaru, thanks to symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and X-Mode. Until now. We call it unhibernate. As in, while your neighbors stay home, you'll be unhibernating all winter in your Subaru. So peregrinate to your local Subaru dealer today, and welcome to Uncommon Winter Confidence.
Hi,
Hi, it's Catherine from Great Canadian Meat. What makes a great gift? Well, I think we can all agree that a gift that's homemade is a great gift. A gift that's the same shape as a stocking, that's important. A gift they can eat? Definitely. And if they like to share, a gift you can eat too. Well, that settles it. Our Great Canadian Meat salami and pepperoni sticks are the perfect gift and a perfect addition to your charcuterie board. Pick up Great Canadian Meat at our store in Whitby or online at greatcanadianmeat.com.
Truck.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day. Think 2-minute truck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2-minute truck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks. So give us a call today.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
They score! Holy mackerel, they score!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
We're back on Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan of the Maple Leafs Radio Network. Ailish Forfar, Justin Cuthbert here for you for the next couple minutes before we send it to the second period. Leafs lead 4-1 at MSG. First time they've scored 4 first-period goals at MSG since March 9th, 1944. You probably remember that one fondly.
I was going to say, you've been to MSG 3 times for Maple Leaf games. I guess it wasn't in 1944.
Definitely not.
When you were there. So a good stat there. A good period, of course, for the Maple Leafs. We're never going to be privy to this information, but if you're doing like inventory on who's feeling good as the illness potentially ravages the Maple Leafs room, my money would be on Calle Yarncrook being one that's at least on the mend or non-affected by this potential illness. He's had 3 different line combinations where he's logged at least a minute, been on the ice for 2 goals, scoring 1 and getting a primary assist on the other. So he looks like he's the swing man for the Maple Leafs, who of course are playing with 11 forwards tonight. So Calle Yarncrook could be a big night. We had Noah Gregor penciled, but it could be a Calle night.
You know who makes the same amount of money as Calle Yarncrook?
Actually, a little less.
Calle makes more than Shohei Ohtani, so that's why he's playing so well. He's just like Shohei Ohtani.
Just like $100,000 better, I guess.
That's what you get.
And on a night like tonight, I'm not going to argue with you.
No, I love his plug and play type style. Doesn't seem to ever affect him. Like he just goes out there. Doesn't matter. He's kind of like that glue guy, right? Top line, third line, PK, sometimes a power play opportunity. Like he's certainly a guy that just rolls with the punches. This is the type of game that you'd want to have a guy like that. Maple Leafs have had people like that. Alex Kerfoot was kind of that guy before. Was Sam Lafferty a little bit of that guy? Like at times maybe, but Yarncrook certainly has become that face for the Maple Leafs. He got a nice assist, nice goal. And John Tavares, as Bonesy said, 1,001 points. That means the count to 2,000 is on.
Yeah, we were talking about his future a little bit in the pregame show. John Tavares is definitely on the back 9 of his career, but still very productive and reaching the end, very importantly, of this contract that'll be up at the end of next season. What does the future hold? How long does he strive towards 1,500, 2,000? That might be a bit of a stretch, but I think Tavares still has a long way to go, and whether or not he's willing to take, some concessions in terms of money and role, I think he could be with the Maple Leafs for a very, very long time, depending on what he decides to do. And if you can wear the C for the Maple Leafs, why wouldn't you stick around?
All right, let's take a look around what else is going on tonight. The NHL scoreboard is presented by Bet365. Visit the app for the latest odds and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus, Ontario only. Play responsibly.
Oh, a much busier night than it was last night. Elsewhere around the NHL, the Ottawa Senators and Carolina Hurricanes are knotted at 1 in the first intermission. The Coyotes and Penguins 2-2 after one period of play. Another tie game.
The Coyotes as your dog of the day.
I did. The Dirty Dogs. They are dogs. 1-1 Detroit and St. Louis. And later on, Philly is in Nashville, Chicago and Edmonton. The Connors going at it for the first time. Florida will visit Seattle, and the Tampa Bay Lightning will go to Vancouver. And 2 more for you as bonus. Calgary and Vegas and Winnipeg and San Jose. Lots of action around the NHL today.
It is the Connor Bowl. But I think both teams have other Connors. Connor Murphy and Connor.
There's definitely a Brown on the Oilers.
Connor Brown and Connor Murphy is the actual battle tonight.
That's like the undercard. It's the co-main event. Murphy and Brown.
Oh, that's going to be good. Lots to come tonight. It's going to be a fun one. Maple Leafs up 4-1. We didn't get too many tests for Martin Jones in net, who I was like so excited to see what he has to bring. I think he only got 4 shots. Yeah, 4 shots, 1 goal. I mean, that's okay. It's not really okay.
It was a better period than that stat line, though.
It hit off TJ Brody's butt or something and went in. It's fine.
He made a great save, if you want to call it a save, on Mika Zibanejad. I don't even actually know if that counts as a save, but Mika Zibanejad looked like he was going to step around him and put one into the back of the net with relative ease. Mm-hmm. But old Martin Jones stuck out the poke check and knocked it off a quality goal scorer's stick. So that was an impressive moment for Martin Jones, still showing that he has something to offer at the NHL level. And we mentioned it. We might see Jonathan Quick, second and third period, after a 4 go in on Igor Shesterkin. That would be nice because there's quite a history between Quick and Jones. So we'll see if that materializes.
All right, lots to come. Joe Bowen and Jim Ralph will have the call of the second period next. You're listening to Most Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
This league's crazy right now. This thing is all up in the air.
When it happens in the NFL, we're reacting to it on Sirius XM NFL Radio.
Travis Kelce. This dude sees the game differently and at a much higher level than a lot of people out there running around playing.
Get closer to the game with interviews with players, coaches, and executives.
Hall of Fame quarterback Troy Aikman joining us.
Dak has always had all of the intangibles, and it's why I've always had so much respect for him.
Nobody covers the game like Sirius XM NFL Radio, Channel 88.
Under review.
And if someone says, well, he's good in the room, you know what? They don't have a good in the room stat in the standings. I've yet to find that category. It's one of the most overplayed things. They better be good in the room. That's the least you better bring when you join a National Hockey League team.
Under review with Mick Kerr, 11 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Hi, this is Ray Hudson, and for all the biggest matches from club soccer's holy grail, the UEFA Champions League, tune in to Sirius XM FC 157.
The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Network Radio. Mike Johnson.
5-on-5 defensive game for Tampa is getting to the point, Gord, where it is a concern. And it's not just because Vasilevsky hasn't played the entire season. They're giving up almost 4 goals a game. No matter how good your offense is, that's not going to be able to be sustainable.
You have the latest opinion and analysis you need on the home of hockey, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
It's between the Ken Hitchcock dots. And the Sens are too loosey-goosey there. They talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk. Ottawa's not like that. And until that part really improves, I don't believe they'll be a playoff team. They'll wow you. They'll wow the fans. They'll win or lose 5-4. But right now, they're middling right now. They're a middling hockey club.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Garden in New York with the Maple Leafs holding a 4-1 lead. Matthews from Nylander and Gregor, Timmons from Yarncrook and Domi, Yarncrook from Tavares, Marner from Matthews and Lagesson, and Wheeler getting an unassisted goal for the New York Rangers. And the Leafs in their own zone starting out. Morgan Riley on to Nylander across the line, splitting the defense, got a shot away. It was deflected wide of the goal. Rangers have elevated it, but it's knocked down at the blue line and not cleared. Nylander around back of the net, gets forced to the boards. Gregor trying to help out, knocked down a clearing pass. Rangers behind the net. Lindgren getting it freed up, and Gaudreau trying to get it out, finally does. Rangers in the neutral zone trying to come away with it as Fox to play it back to his defense partner, and then tipped into Toronto territory to allow a change of players.
And they've actually taken a shot away from the Rangers in the first. 11-3 is the total now they've got up.
You know, Martin Jones can't catch a break.
No. Percentage.
It's gone way down again. Played down into the Toronto zone and wide of the Leaf goal. Centering pass comes back up on the boards, and the Leafs are just going to get it out at center. You can't take the pedal off the gas, but you got to be responsible. And right now the Leafs have it in over the line. Tavares with a shot, and Shesterkin makes his best save of the game with that right pad. The Rangers continue to have difficulties in their own end. Leafs bring it right back in on the right side. Timmons Works the board, still with it. Back to the blue line. Coming off the bench there was Camp, and then a breakaway attempt pass went astray, and the Leafs are fortunate to send it back. That happened when Camp fell down right at the blue line where he was filling in for one of the defensemen. Jones back in the Leaf zone. Will play it up on the wing for the defense, who get it out at center. And Schneider now for New York, back in his own zone around back of the net. Ran into a traffic jam there, and the Leafs keep it in. Back to the point. Good play again by McMahon, using his body real well there as the puck is around back of the net. Camp trying to dig it out of a maze of legs. McMahon stationed off to the side of the goal, hoping for a loose puck. And the Rangers finally get to it. And again, Bobby McMahon with a good offensive hit. Here are the Rangers back into the Leaf zone. A sharp angle shot went off the glove of Jones. There's the fourth shot on goal. Get that save percentage going in the right direction as Riley sends it down into New York territory.
Right now, Martin Jones must be thinking, this league is a lot easier than I remember. 4-1 lead and only 4 shots.
Down into the Toronto zone. Shot goes wide of the goal. Nick Robertson gets it out. Here's Bertuzzi for Domi in across the line. That didn't work, and the Rangers push it ahead, and they've got a break. In on goal. Down is Jones, and he clears the rebound into the corner after making the save. His toughest save of the game so far. Leafs, another shot blocked in front of the net. Bertuzzi looking for an outlet with Domi, and it is played to center ice. Domi with Bertuzzi and Robertson now, as a shot by Robertson is deflecting up over the glass and out of play.
Leafs have got to be a little sharper defensively. That's twice they've given up on-man rushes here already in the second period. Connor Timmons might have saved the first one. It looked like Chris Kreider got in behind the Leaf defense. And then on the second opportunity, Lajoie might have been the one that just got back in time. How he doesn't get a penalty for this. He does let go of his stick and reach around to grab on. It was Nick Bonino who had the opportunity.
Rangers play it on the wing for Gaudreau. Out at center ice. And chipped in over the line. Good play by Benoit to knock it into the corner and then take a good hit on his man as the Leafs get it back out into the center ice area. Closing in on 4 minutes played in the second period. Still 4-1 Toronto. Rangers with the man going loose to the net. A backhand try. Good save. Pitlick going to the net. Good save by Jones. Stayed right with him, but the Leafs are getting a little careless here with people getting in behind the defense. Back down into Ranger territory. Things are fine when they're in the offensive zone, but at this particular point, they are getting a little careless. And now here's Zibanejad in with a shot. That is deflected away, and the Leafs are now going to play it out at center ice. Brought to the line by Marner. Puts the brakes on. Flipping it off there for Lagesson. Lagesson taking off the puck. Chipped back by New York, and it's down the ice, and an icing call coming to bring it all the way back into New York territory.
Boy, Martin Jones makes his biggest save of this game. I mean, 2 breakaways in a row here in the second period.
Saved 2 biggest saves, wouldn't it?
I thought this was even, I mean, this is a little more clear cut even.
Sure was.
Pitlick walked in now. The one advantage might be it was Pitlick and Bonino and not the likes of Panarin and Kreider walking in on the breakaways, but still Martin Jones very solid.
13-6 shots favor Toronto. And Zibanejad is waved out of the faceoff area, and so Wheeler will move in.
But you're right. The Leafs are really playing with fire here. They've got to lock things down and be a lot more conscientious in their own zone.
Brought in by Blake Wheeler, trying to go wide on McCabe. Couldn't. Gets it back to the point. Fed off on the right wing side. Schneider into the slot, coming to the front of the goal, and unable to get his stick on it was Kreider in front of the net. Now it comes off his stick to Marner on the near boards. Marner a long rink-wide pass, trying to find Bertuzzi that didn't connect. Marner has to go back after it. And the Leafs will play it up on the boards, and Bertuzzi will get it back to the defenseman, but now they lose it. Now a centering pass hits the back of the goal. Rangers still in possession. Back to the blue line to Schneider. Schneider to the far side. Shot deflects wide of the Leaf goal. Centering pass in front. Just tipped wide on the near side. Played up on the wing by Marner and played high to center ice. Rangers have it back in their own zone. Brought forward now by Trouba. Jacob Trouba in with a long shot that was wide of the Leaf net. And there's a whistle.
Puck went out of play.
I guess.
Hate to say it at this point already, but next goal's a big one. You don't want to. Right now, the crowd's out of the game. But if the Rangers make it 4-2, there's plenty of time left for them to mount any kind of comeback.
I wouldn't think that the Leaf coaching staff is overly enjoying the first 5 minutes and 35 seconds of the second period.
Gave up 3 shots in the first. 2 breakaways already here in the second.
And an almost giveaway there as the puck hit Bonino in the slot. Now the Rangers after it in the far corner. Matthews unable to take his man away from it there as they battle, and Brodzinski gets it back towards the blue line. Long shot goes wide of the Leaf goal into the near corner. Rangers after it once more. Now stolen by Toronto and just flipped out at center ice. Trouba gets it back into neutral ice. Gregor chases his man, takes him off the puck, goes into the corner, then for Brody. Leafs get it ahead. Matthews circling back, now flips it out at center, but gives it away. But a bounce past the Ranger player, and now here is Gregor trying to get it into the slot area, but it goes wide, and now here are the Rangers trying to bring it right back. Leafs are changing. Down into the Toronto zone it goes. Jones will tuck it into the near corner for Lagesson, who finds his defense partner. That went right by him, and here are the Rangers with it again. McCabe had an easy pass to take, and it turns into the Hornets' nest again, but the quick stick of Nick Robertson denies that by deflecting it down into New York territory. He hustled into the forecheck, but the Rangers have it once more. Brought back at center ice. Vesey in on the right side. Trying to go wide now. Trocheck goes around back of the net. Gets it back to the blue line. Over on the near side for Fox. Fox setting it back up into the slot with a shot by Panarin that goes wide. Yarncrook couldn't come up with it. At the blue line. Chopped back in by Lindgren for the Rangers. And now the Leafs finally get a hold of it. Robertson getting it out at center. And Domi couldn't come up with it. And the Leafs have it once more. McCabe, a pass for Max Domi, and it is shot down into the Ranger zone. Max's dad, Ty, had some memorable nights in this building. The head-to-head battles with Bob Probert come to mind, where a championship belt was at least demonstrated, if not actually presented.
No instigator in any of those.
No,
scraps.
funny how that never happened. No, it was, I mean, it was marquee. It was a be surprised if it wasn't on the marquee outside the building that night.
I'll tell you one thing, pound for pound, Ty Domi was the toughest player ever to play the game. He did not shy away from the biggest and strongest and toughest in the league, and carved out a pretty impressive career.
Yes, he sure did. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Bet365 doesn't do ordinary. That's why they've introduced the Same Game Parlay Plus. It's a game changer. Making a same game parlay across different games has never been easier because the biggest games and most popular markets are all in one place. Check out the Same Game Parlay Plus and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 or older, Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
Truck.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day. Think 2-minute truck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2-minute truck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks. So give us a call today.
Unhibernate. Verb. To laugh in the face of snow because you drive a Subaru. As in, when I unhibernate, I have the roads all to myself because my Subaru has symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and others don't. Or, the award-winning safety in my Subaru means I can unhibernate all winter while my neighbors stare longingly from their bedroom windows. Or my favorite usage, I'm going to unhibernate this winter by visiting my local Subaru dealer today. Welcome to Uncommon Winter Confidence.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
John Tavares set up by Willie. The Leafs win it in overtime.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Leafs for the 4-1 lead on the Rangers at Madison Square Garden.
I don't believe the Leafs have even had anything close to a scoring chance here in the second. 12:02 to go.
We were reminiscing about Ty and his battles, and then about Ron Greshner dating the supermodel Carol Alt, who used to arrange to make an entrance. Never got to the seat prior to the game, but about 10 minutes into the period, and of course the gallery gods would give her a rousing standing ovation as she arrived for the match. And they used to sit down behind the Ranger goal, as I recall. Rangers unable to keep the puck in the Toronto zone. Have it back out into the center ice area. Launched in over the line, but stolen back by the Maple Leafs, and Tavares comes through center to Bertuzzi across the line. Just kept in, sent towards the net. Tavares knocked that down, and it just went wide of the post. Another shot from the blue line deflects wide of Shesterkin's cage. Leafs keeping it in. Morgan Rielly with it again with a shot. Blockered away by Shesterkin. Comes back in front of the net. Tavares couldn't get a shot away. Was hoping to set up Morgan Rielly for a shot. But the Rangers intercept and now get it into the Leaf zone and play it deep into the Toronto end. Change of players coming. 11 minutes to go here in the second period. All of the scoring in the first. Matthews along with Timmons, Yarncrook, and Marner for the Maple Leafs. As we get a whistle and an offside, that'll be brought back into the center ice area.
We talked about the offense of the New York Rangers, and they haven't been able to capitalize yet. But Artemi Panarin, since coming to the New York Rangers in 2019, third in the NHL in assists, only behind Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl.
Well, he's got 38 points this year, 22 of which are assists.
The thing is with Panarin, he's actually on pace for a 120-point season. He's been in the 90s a few times, including last season.
The bread man. Played out in center ice, and here's Fox getting it in over the line. Pass on the left wing side, and a shot delivered there, and a good save made by Jones. Rangers are able to keep the puck in. Played down into the corner, trying to work it out in front. That was blocked by the Leafs and backhanded out into center ice. And Fox will go back to retrieve it.
And that was Willie Nylander. Smart little play. Get the puck in your stick in front of your own net. Look for some open space to get it out.
Here's Fox. A nice move to gain over the line into the slot area, and a shot. Down is Jones. He's searching for it as it went wide of the goal. Now jammed up against the far post. And Martin Jones has looked very comfortable and very steady.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, it would easily be pretty easy to be rattled when the first shot of the game finds its way through you early on, but it certainly helps when you got a 3-goal cushion, a 4-1 lead here in the second period. Adam Fox, by the way, I would say Brad Treliving is a fan. He actually drafted him in Calgary. He was part of the Dougie Hamilton, Noah Hannafin deal. Sent him to Carolina before he was moved to the Rangers.
Well, he's turned into a bona fide offensive defenseman with the New York Rangers, as a long shot is smothered by Jones and held for a face-off. Martin Jones from North Vancouver, British Columbia, 33 years of age, played with the Calgary Hitmen in the the Western Hockey League, and then on to the Los Angeles Kings before heading to San Jose with the Flyers, Seattle, and now with the Maple Leafs. 4-1 Toronto. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Hey, it's Andy Cohen, and the Radio Andy Holiday Hangout with me and Amy Sedaris is back. Get Amy's one-of-a-kind crafting and gift advice for the holidays, like what to get done.
Shower caps and raisins.
Need a gift for a college graduate? Or need advice on how to entertain the elderly?
Toss a balloon back and forth. Get those arms up and reach.
The Radio Andy Holiday Hangout, live Thursday at 7 p.m. East. Radio Andy, SiriusXM 102, or listen on the SiriusXM app.
24/7 hockey talk.
One of the greatest goaltenders of all time, Patrick Waugh. When you put your hands up, did you know at that moment that you were done?
No, I did not. Unfortunately, it happened. Just gave me a chance to have a fresh start somewhere else and be traded to Colorado was a good opportunity. Sometimes you need that little, change, and it was welcome for me.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91. And on your schedule with the Sirius XM app. The Point with Boomer Gordon.
18 months ago, I had new Flyers head coach John Tortorella. And I asked him what he was worried about the club, and he said, I don't like the room. We have a bad room. And I'm like, you haven't even coached this team yet. A year and a half later, John Tortorella loves his room. He loves this team, and he loves that they compete every night.
Point with Boomer Gordon. 1 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. The best hockey lives here.
Burns gets it back. Stick handles to the backhand. Moves in front. Score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM Radio Network.
Austin Matthews in the league for 8 years. He has hit the 20-goal plateau consistently with 8 straight now. The Leaf record is 13 consecutive 20-goal seasons. Matt Sundin did that. Ron Ellis has 9. Darryl Sittler has 9, and now Matthews with 8.
Becomes the second American to do that in his first 8 seasons. Patrick Kane being the other.
Now the Rangers back at the point with a pass on the left wing side. A shot, big rebound in front of the goal. Another drive. Oh, good glove save. Martin Jones snapped that left hand out there and made the save, and we got some pushing and grabbing and hanging on going on between Lagesson and Kreider for the battle in front of the net.
You don't mind that. I mean, Lagesson had a couple of cross checks and a little bit of a rabbit punch on Kreider in front of the net. Because Kreider certainly makes his living there. By the way, Igor Shesterkin mentioned he had a couple of tough starts coming into this game. This is the 7th time already this season he's given up 4 goals against or more. Last season, he only gave up 7 in the entire season. 7 times, 4 goals or more in a game.
And a penalty here.
Oh, I think this is a weak call. I don't know how you find Chris Kreider to be the only one out of this.
Wow.
I mean,
wait a minute. There
okay.
You go. Now it fixed itself.
What we saw a Leaf power play pop up on the board, but yeah, it's going to be a little 4-on-4.
Lagesson in the box as well. And Kreider for the Rangers.
And all things considered, it's probably a couple of pretty weak roughing calls.
Yes, it was.
More of a wrestling match than anything else, but the Leafs might take this trade off.
So, no power play, but 4-on-4 here with the faceoff in the Toronto zone. Matthews wins the draw cleanly. And it went right to Jones. He thought about maybe playing on, but then decided, no, I'll hang on to this and we'll bring a face off.
You see him shaking his head, talking to TJ Brody as if to say, no.
Mm-hmm. Harvey Jones in attendance. He is Martin's father. The fathers are all up in one of the private boxes, and I'm sure are enjoying the 4-1 lead. I know they got pretty excited when John Tavares picked up the assist and Morgan Riley sent the game to overtime last night as Nylander gets it down into the offensive zone. A little more skating room out here. Nylander steps in and got a shot away, and Shesterkin got his blocking glove up to knock that up and over the glass and out of play. 9:10 to go in the second.
We're going to see Matthews and Marner back together soon. Like we saw last night, the power play goal. Marner set up Matthews. We saw Matthews set up Marner earlier in the first period. And you just wonder if maybe that chemistry is starting to come back. Obviously, they still get power play time together.
What a luxury, though, that Sheldon Keefe has. Well, who's he going to play with? Who's playing with whom? In the old days, you used to have a good fist fight in the dressing room to see who got to play with the best player. And Ty was usually involved in that when Sundin's name came up, right? Played down into the Toronto zone. McCabe goes around back and gets it ahead. Tavares working in over the line on the right wing side. Matthews had gone to the bench. Tavares is able to drag it in deep into the corner, but can't come up with it. Still a minute 10 to go in the 4-on-4. Marner works around back of the net, but can't steal it back from Fox. And out come the Rangers on left wing. Brought down into the Toronto zone. Chipping it along is Barclay Goodrow. Stolen back by Morgan Rielly. He jumps into the rush. Tavares decides to take the puck wide, being directed there by Rielly. Now plays it down into the corner, and it'll be played around back of the net by Jimmy Vesey, and now out come the Rangers. Pass for Jacob Trouba. Trouba on the right side. Pulls up at the blue line, steps around, still with it down into the corner. Rielly trying to mirror him around back of the net. Took care of him up against the boards. And now Brody is able to play it around into the near corner for Rielly. And he gets it out, but that misfires. And an icing call with 19 seconds left in the 4-on-4 is coming up in the Toronto zone as a result.
As long as the Leafs can keep it at this score, keep the crowd out of it, keep the Rangers from gaining any kind of momentum, they're going to be okay. But you know, Rangers get one, and all of a sudden you might tighten up a little bit. And Martin Jones really has been the only reason the Leafs still maintain a 3-goal lead here in the second period.
Rangers just with 11 shots, but the last 4 or 5 have tested Jones for sure.
A couple of breakaways and a couple of point-blank opportunities.
Kept in at the point by Trouba. Played down around back of the net. Panarin couldn't come up with it. Rielly does. But as he played it for Domi, Domi circled back, and now he has the puck taken away. Rangers get it back to the point. Trouba into the slot area, left wing side, and a shot coming. That's deflected wide of the Leaf goal. It comes up on the near side. Jammed in there is Lagesson trying to pinch, and now Domi has to go after it on the far side as it comes back to the point, and Kreider with a long shot wide of the goal. Grabbed off, and Domi finally has some skating room, and he'll outlet now to Morgan Rielly, who comes to the red line and shoots it in to allow the Leafs to get a change of players going. New York back around the boards. Captain Trouba getting it up on the wing to center. Stolen back there by Toronto. Fed off on the right side for Gregor. Gregor got a shot away, and that was just off the mark wide. Tried to decoy goaltender Shesterkin that he was going to make the pass, and then snapped it to the near side, but it was off the mark.
I mean, he put some heat on it. Even the empty net goal we saw against Nashville.
Benoit for Matthews. Played in around back of the net, far side. Nylander got there. Gregor trying to help him out. Scrummed up on the boards. Matthews is able to take it out of the crowd. Then a long shot juggled by Shesterkin. The puck goes down into the corner. Rangers play it high to center ice. Played in over the line by Wheeler, who missed a hip check there. Got in with a body on McCabe. Leafs Benoit got it out at center, and it's launched by Gregor deep into Ranger territory. 6 minutes to go in the second period. Still 4-1 Toronto. Played down into the Leafs zone. Connor Timmons played it up on the wing. Chipped out at center for Tavares. Tavares hits the line. Tried to one-hand it over for Bertuzzi. That didn't work. New York play it back to the Toronto blue line, and Bertuzzi is there. Pass ahead on the left wing now for Marner. Spinning it down into the corner for Tavares. He's engaged down there, excuse me, as the puck goes around into the far corner. And out at center ice. Bertuzzi just gets it in over the line. Rangers are right there again. The Leafs want to clog up the neutral zone as much as they can to make it a difficult chore for the Rangers to get through center ice and get it with any kind of control entering the Leaf end. Now New York's Trocheck gets to the Leaf blue line. Penalty coming to Toronto. And I think it's Connor Timmons who's going to get the hook.
Yeah, it was both Connor Timmons and Max Domi got their sticks up, but looks like you're right. Timmons is the one that's he probably could have called either one of them, but Rangers to the power play, and it's going to be a pretty important kill for the Leafs.
It is 4-1 Toronto. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuzz shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we've introduced Same Game Parlay Plus. It's a game changer. Making a same game parlay across different games has never been easier because the biggest games and most popular markets are now all in one place. Check out Same Game Parlay Plus and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connectsontario.ca.
There are many peculiar words in the English language. Words like solivigant, peregrinate, nemophilus, peripatetic, and conviviality. Yet, there is no word for getting the most out of winter in your Subaru, thanks to symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and X-Mode. Until now. We call it unhibernate. As in, while your neighbors stay home, you'll be unhibernating all winter in your Subaru. So peregrinate to your local Subaru dealer today, and welcome to Uncommon Winter Confidence.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
Got it into the slot now for Nyes, who scores!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Rangers to the power play for the second time in the game. And the Leafs with a 4-1 lead. Face off to the left of Jones. And it wasn't done correctly. They're going to have to do it all over again.
Sure, what the referee is signaling.
I think there was encroachment from the guys on the...
McCabe and Kreider are pointing at each other.
It's his fault. He went first. I just followed. Trocheck will take the face-off. Panarin stationed in behind him. And the draw scrummed by the Leafs. Brody steps out from the side of the goal and launches it out and down the ice. Another big face-off win by David Camp, who's entrusted with that job in the penalty kill. Fox comes out of his own zone, sends a long shoot in that Jones knocks into the far boards, and the Leafs are going to get it out into center ice territory again. Panarin dropping it back. Fox gets it over on the left wing, then gets it returned. Fired into the Toronto zone. Round on the boards. Chipped into the corner by Camp. Leafs can't clear. Fox at the point. Feeds it off onto the top of the circle. Now back to Panarin. Down low into the corner. Panarin will get it back. Panarin works down the right wing boards into the corner. Bank pass comes back to Fox over on the far side. Now to Panarin in the far corner. Looking for a man in front. It comes around to the near wing. Trocheck. Back to the point to Fox. One-timer coming off the side of the goal on the far wing. Kept alive there by Zibanejad. Now along the board. Zibanejad works into the corner. Tries to flip it into the near side. Trocheck finally settles it down to Fox. Back to the point again. Leaf penalty killers have been out there for the entire time. Here's Fox working down into the corner. Still has it. Down back to the point. Panarin fanned on a pass, diving to try to get to that was Marner, but he didn't make contact. Fox centers again. Panarin to one-timer on the far side, scores. Zibanejad stationed off almost to the goal line. And the New York Rangers end a streak for the Maple Leafs of 19 consecutive penalty kills while on the road.
And this could turn out to be huge. 3:30 to go. In the second period, the Rangers get to within two. Artemi Panarin almost lost it. Mitch Marner dove to try to get to the loose puck, and seconds later, Fox throws it back to the high slot. Panarin then looks to the left wing circle, and he throws it to Zibanejad, who one-times it, and he just rifles this up under the crossbar, and the Rangers have their second of the night. And for Zibanejad, that is goal number 8 on the season.
5th on the power play. And the Rangers send it down into the Toronto zone and now come out with the puck again. Pitlick sending it around back of the net. Engaged in the corner. The puck comes up on the left wing. Marner launches it out into the center ice area. Rangers Rifle it right back into the Toronto zone. Jones out of the cage to get it to Lagesson. Lagesson trying to play it along the boards. Had it blocked there by Gustafsson. Now it rolls in on goal, and it's going to be swallowed up by goaltender Martin Jones. 2 minutes and 59 seconds left in the second period, and the lead is down to a 2-goal 4-2 advantage.
For the Leafs, I mean, as much as you've admired their ability to come back in games, even being down 2 last night to the New York Islanders, scoring with 6 seconds left to tie it, they've also had a problem protecting leads. Sometimes overtime has bailed them out. But you don't want to be known as the most exciting team with whether they're ahead or behind. Yeah, pretty important to try to lock this down, especially with the Rangers seemingly having an off night.
Fox with a shot. That was blocked away by Jones. The puck around back of the net. Brody has it in a maze of legs. Dug it out, but it is stolen back. Trocheck gets it back to the point. Fox with another pass on the wing. And the shot was stopped by Jones on the short side. Rangers have caught fire here and are pressing. Back to the blue line it comes. Trocheck to Fox. Fox trying to send it down into the corner and does. Bodies in there as the puck kicked into the corner then by Tavares, and he can't get his stick on it cleanly. 2:20 to play in the period. Back of the net, Morgan Riley fights for possession. Played it around the boards, but again pinching is the defense as Lindgren keeps it in. Centering pass intercepted, and now the Leafs are able to break it out. Robertson comes to the red line. Rolls it in over the line and into the corner. Yarncrook in pursuit, but the Rangers have it once more. The Leafs really have not had any zone time at all in this period. And across the line, the Rangers in front of the net. Big play by McMahon. He took his Ranger player, was able to get a stick around it and lift his stick, and a good play right in front of the Leaf net. Now Nylander in front for McMahon, and that was deflected away by Shesterkin. Good shift here, but now here is a chance for Wheeler breaking in. He scores! From a good chance at one end of the rink, Wheeler comes back at the other, and now this place is really going to be rocking in New York as the Rangers have narrowed the lead to 4-3.
And really, it's been the Leafs' inability to shut down the Rangers off the rush. Very nearly. Bobby McMahon scores his first career goal to make it 5-2. That doesn't go. The Rangers roar right back the other way. And I mean, this is, you know, even though it's Blake Wheeler's not having a great year, you give anybody that much time and space, as the Rangers have been so dangerous off the rush here in the second period.
Now a puck that bounced off the end boards. Leafs almost got a break there, but couldn't take advantage of it. Lagesson getting it up on the wing and finally launched into the Ranger zone. Matthews down into the corner. It's been a game of 2 periods, and all of the action has been down to our right. And now here's the chance on the left wing side. Kept alive there, and a hit. Benoit pounded up against the glass. Knocked down back of the goal was Noah Gregor. Less than a minute to go in the period. Rangers breaking it out at center. They're going to shoot it in and around the boards. It comes into the right wing boards and corner, and now sent around to the far side. And the Leafs will regroup it back at the net. Lagesson in back of the goal. William Lagesson with 37 seconds left to play in the period.
Unfortunately, David Kampf and McMahon have been on for both even strength goals that the Rangers have scored.
Playing around the boards to the near side in the Ranger zone. They burst out on the right wing side. Brodzinski sends it into the corner. Chip back on the wing and to the line, but not out. Fox makes a nice play to get it back to the point. Long shot coming. Big rebound in front of the goal. They bang away at it, and the Maple Leafs are going to dig it out with 7 seconds. Robertson off on the wing for Riley. Riley couldn't get around the defense. They play it back in on a delay, and that will end the period. But the Rangers are back in the contest. After the Leafs had opened a 4-1 lead in the first period, Zibanejad and Wheeler have scored to make this an interesting third coming up.
And really, the Leafs went from maybe playing their best first period of the season only giving up 3 shots at a 4-1 lead. They may be playing their worst period of the season, even though they give up the 2 goals. But if it wasn't for Martin Jones, Joe, could have been 3 or 4. The Leafs might be lucky to be heading into the 3rd period with a 1-goal lead.
It is 4-3. We'll ship it off to Eilish Forfar along with Justin Cuthbert as you're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
This league's crazy right now. This thing is all up in the air.
When it happens in the NFL, we're reacting to it on Sirius XM NFL Radio.
Travis Kelce. This dude sees the game differently and at a much higher level than a lot of people out there running around playing.
Get closer to the game with interviews with players, coaches, and executives.
Hall of Fame quarterback Troy Aikman joining us.
Dak has always had all of the intangibles, and it's why I've always had so much respect for him.
Nobody covers the game like Sirius XM NFL Radio, Channel 88.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
If you're a soccer fan, you know that this music means one thing. The Champions League is on Sirius XM FC.
Hat-trick for Erling Haaland. Kane scores!
The top teams from around Europe are battling for club soccer's holy grail.
Real Madrid do what they do best. What a start for Inter.
Hear all the top Champions League matches all tournament long on Sirius XM FC 157 and streaming on the Sirius XM app.
The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Network Radio.
Mike Johnson.
5-on-5 defensive game for Tampa is getting to the point, Gord, where it is a concern. And it's not just because Vasilevsky hasn't played the entire season. They're giving up almost 4 goals a game. No matter how good your offense is, that's not going to be able to be sustainable.
Get the latest opinion and analysis you need on the home of hockey, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
It's between the Ken Hitchcock dots. And the Sens are too loosey-goosey there. They talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk. Ottawa's not like that. And until that part really improves, I don't believe they'll be a playoff team. They'll wow you. They'll wow the fans. They'll win or lose 5-4. But right now, they're middling right now. They're a middling hockey club.
The Power Play.
Weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern
on NHL Network Radio,
Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app. 24/7 hockey talk.
One of the greatest goaltenders of all time, Patrick Waugh. When you put your hands up, did you know at that moment that you were done?
No, I did not. Unfortunately, it happened. Just gave me a chance to have a fresh start somewhere else and be traded to Colorado was a good opportunity. Sometimes you need that little, change, and it was welcome for me.
Sirius XM, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and on your schedule with the Sirius XM app. The Point with Boomer Gordon.
18 months ago, I had new Flyers head coach John Tortorella. And I asked him what he was worried about the club, and he said, I don't like the room. We have a bad room. And I'm like, you haven't even coached this team yet. A year and a half later, John Tortorella loves his room. He loves this team, and he loves that they compete every night.
Point with Boomer Gordon. 1 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. Under review.
And if someone says, well, he's good in the room, you know what? They don't have a good in the room stat in the standings. I've yet to find that category. It's one of the most overplayed things. They better be good in the room. That's the least you better bring when you join a National Hockey League team.
Under review with Mick Kern. 11 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Leafs Radio Network.
Was able to get a stick around it and lift his stick, and a good play right in front of the Leaf net. Now Nylander in front for McMahon, and that was deflected away by Shesterkin. Good shift here, but now here is a chance for Wheeler breaking in. He scores!
Welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. Eilish Forfar and Justin Cuthbert here for your intermissions. Leafs barely holding on to that lead that they had established after a dominant first period. It is now 4-3.
the Rangers got no quit in New York, and they're on their way back to making this one. As you know, the Leafs love to play some overtime hockey. We just might be on the cusp of another one.
Yeah, we might be on the cusp of another one. It's going to be a really difficult third period. This might be the toughest period that the Maple Leafs see or have seen all season. That might be slightly hyperbolic, but at this point, given all that we talked about heading in, second half of a back-to-back, maybe an illness ravaging a dressing room, being down at least a top-line left winger, and maybe other guys feeling it as well. And this New York team that woke up with about 5 minutes left in that period. That Connor Timmons penalty really opened the doors for the New York Rangers, because to that point, it was kind of a brilliant park the bus period. It was like the output from the Rangers was meager, to say the most about it, honestly. Like, the Leafs did a really, really good job just staying behind the puck, not really offering or letting the Rangers get any offerings onto Martin Jones. But once they scored that power play goal, which created some momentum for them in the lead up to it, they really had more jump than the Maple Leafs. So I think they're going to see that and more in the third period, and it's going to be a tall task holding on to this one. Well,
that's what makes the New York Rangers such a talented team, right? Like, you can never count some sort of pushback out from them, right? Like, they're atop the Eastern. They're one of the best teams in the NHL for a reason. The Maple Leafs certainly deserve that first period, but you can't take your foot off the gas. The Leafs are a team of like inconsistency, I would say, this season. Great stretches, periods where you're like, what, did they show up? Great stretches from leaders, great stretches from their top players, and then there's time where it's quiet. And that second period was like they didn't come out for the second period for a little bit, and you can't let a team crawl back into it, because now the Islanders, the Rangers have the momentum. They just went into that locker room thinking, all right, like, we're within one goal. Maybe one of us here might have bet the money line on the Rangers earlier on in that period, because you could tell.
Telling tales out of school now.
I just said one of us, maybe me, maybe you, maybe behind the glass over there. But you could just tell, like, the tide was turning a bit. That's a team that gets momentum. They get some stops by their goaltender, which they didn't really get in the first period. They get some opportunities on odd man shots and on power plays. And look, and now it's a one-goal game, and the Maple Leafs love one-goal games, but more when it's in their favor with the momentum.
Okay, so throwing aside a potentially sick, undermanned roster, 4-1 is a difficult score to have, or a difficult lead to have for long periods of time. I know that sounds ridiculous, because you'd like to be leading by 3 goals in pretty much every game you play. It probably would be, in large part, a comfortable position. However, it can be difficult, right? And I'll throw it back to you. Like, leading 4-1, the team on the other side is not necessarily pushing back all that much, but suddenly they get a glimmer of hope, and it's like you're trying to stop a moving train at that point. Is that kind of what the Maple Leafs are 100%. Dealing with here? Like, it's difficult to play that second period, because once they have a breakthrough, it seems like the momentum switches when still there's a 2-goal advantage, or there was, at least at that point.
I mean, like, that's one team with all the confidence, all the momentum, and the other one starting to be like, uh-oh, we are tired. We do have our third-string goaltender net. We are sick. We are on a back-to-back. Oh, that's why this is happening. It gets in your head. You get to realizing that maybe you were not lucky, but you were, you came out great and strong, but maybe you don't have the energy to maintain it for a third period. Whereas the Rangers, they were lucky to get through that first period and into the second the way they are. They have completely flipped the script. They are the ones with the momentum. So I think, like, the most important thing for the Maple Leafs is they come back from this intermission, and they've got to get possession right away, get shots on net, stop the momentum that the Rangers have had, because if not, like, they'll be hemmed in, and this won't be pretty for the Maple Leafs.
Yeah, and as much as they were doing a good job, like, not really allowing the Rangers to have anything, denying the Rangers of any real opportunity for at least, the first 12 minutes of that period, they weren't really doing much offensively either. And sometimes when you're up 4-1, you don't have that incentive to go after it and go get the fifth. You're waiting on them. And I think at a certain point that bit the Maple Leafs, because the Rangers were able to wake themselves up, get those 2 goals, and now it's going to be difficult holding them back in the third period.
We'll take a quick break. We've got some really cool information on the NHL All-Star skills competition, which was released just while the game was starting. Some great changes, including $1 million prize for the individual winner. So we'll take a break. We'll let you know all about that on the other side. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
NHL All-Star Thursday is coming to Toronto with 3 exciting events in one star-filled night. First, celebrity captains select their teams in the Tim Hortons NHL All-Star Player Draft. Then, the 1967 Stanley Cup champion Maple Leafs are honored in the NHL Alumni Man of the Year. And finally, the best in women's hockey compete in the Canadian Tire PWHL 3-on-3 Showcase. It's NHL All-Star Thursday on February 1st. Buy tickets now starting at $44 at NHL.com/Thursday.
Every year, fans debate over the draft. Who's going first? At Chuck's, they already know. The top draft choice is that icy cold 18-ounce Molson Canadian you're holding, and it's just $4 at Chuck's during Leafs games. No wonder that at draft time, Canadians are always in high demand. Chuck's Roadhouse Bar and Grill. Food the way it ought to be. Price the way it used to be.
Unhibernate. Verb. To laugh in the face of snow because you drive a Subaru. As in, when I unhibernate, I have the roads all to myself because my Subaru has symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and others don't. Or, the award-winning safety in my Subaru means I can unhibernate all winter while my neighbors stare longingly from their bedroom windows. Or my favorite usage. I am going to unhibernate this winter by visiting my local Subaru dealer today. Welcome to Uncommon Winter Confidence.
Truck.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day. Think 2-minute truck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2-minute-truck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks, so give us a call today.
Move up to Heathwood. Hi, I'm Hugh Herwin. Experience true luxury at Williamsburg Green in Kitchener. Williamsburg Green is everything you want in a community. Enjoy fabulous trails, parks, playgrounds, sports areas, and more. Our beautiful all-brick homes include luxury features you've always dreamed of, even a fully finished lower level. It's time to move up to Heathwood. Learn more at heathwood.com.
Hi, it's Catherine from Great Canadian Meat. Shopping stress? I get it. Dad wants
a motorcycle.
And Mom wants
a 4x4, please.
But if you get them what they want, it won't be a surprise. So get them the next best thing. Great Canadian Meat.
Did you get my text? I want a trip to the Bahamas.
As if. Our sweet heat beef jerky is hotter than any beach in the Bahamas. And the guy she hopes to meet there. Keep it real. Get them Great Canadian Meat from our store in Whitby or greatcanadianmeat.com.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
Y'all ready?
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Welcome back to Most Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. All right, we teased it. The NHL is coming to our city of Toronto for the All-Star Weekend, and they've released an incredible new way of hyping everyone up. So it's a 12-player only event where you'll either get voted in or chosen.
The skills competition we're talking about?
Yes. You'll receive points for events. The individual winner who wins and accumulates the most points will win $1 million. So there's 8 events, and it just sounds like it's going to be awesome. Connor McDavid was a part of the creativity of this entire event, but we've said you put money on the line, it's going to make this a hell of a lot better, and it seems like they've taken that into account. And I like the idea. It's pretty exclusive. It's very like a small field. It's going to be competitive.
I mean, it was like pulling teeth to get guys to do things for the skills competition previously. Now everyone that's an all-star is going to be, hey, I'd like my chance at $1 million, please. I think this is, I mean, we haven't even seen it yet, but I can already tell you that it's going to be better because $1 million is $1 million. You saw the NBA in-season tournament, a lot of intensity when $100,000 and $500,000 were on the line for guys that, especially guys that don't make that much, but for anyone really, money talks.
So out of the 8 events, the players like originally picked 6 to participate in. So it's actually strategic as well. Which 6 do you think you will place the highest in and get the point in? But also, if you're going to only compete against a couple people in one of these events, maybe you're easier to get a higher score in it. So it's going to be very interesting how they decide.
Okay, that is interesting then, because if McDavid's in it,
do you bother?
And it's like, okay, I'm doing the fastest skater if I'm McDavid, obviously, but then if no one wants to do that with you, is it worth it for McDavid?
It's very interesting. Lots to break down, but you can check that up on sportsnet.ca. There's an entire article outlining the changes. I can't wait. It's going to be very, very fun. It's around the corner. February 2nd will be the skills competition. Okay, let's take a look at the NHL scoreboard presented by Bet365. Visit the app for the latest odds and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus, Ontario only. Play responsibly.
10 games in the NHL tonight, including the Toronto Maple Leafs, who are up 4-3 going into the third period over the New York Rangers. But elsewhere, Coyotes and Penguins still knotted at 2. The Hurricanes have a 4-1 lead on the Senators. The Blues lead the Red Wings 3-2 in the second period. Predators up 1-0 on the Flyers. And then later on, Kraken host the Panthers. Oilers host the Blackhawks. Connor versus Connor. VGK, the Vegas Golden Knights, host the Flames. And the Sharks host the Jets. And the Canucks host the Lightning.
Did you just say VGK?
Yeah.
Why?
That's what they call themselves.
Ugh.
VGK. Come on. I'm getting nods of approval back there.
But like, it just sounds awful.
It's not great.
Vegas.
It's not great.
Golden Knights. All right. Big third period ahead. The Maple Leafs lead 4-3, but the Rangers are fighting their way back. We'll have all of the action with Joe Bowen and Jim Ralph on the other side of the break. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Work through your day with a mosaic of relaxing pop.
Hold on for one more day.
To keep you moving forward.
I want it that way.
Or melt away the stress. With SiriusXM Mosaic.
This is my fight song. Take back my life song.
90s and 2000s pop on Channel 15 and in the SiriusXM app.
The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Network Radio. Mike Johnson.
5-on-5 defensive game for Tampa is getting to the point, Gord, where it is a concern. And it's not just because Vasilevsky hasn't played the entire season. They're giving up almost 4 goals a game. No matter how good your offense is, that's not going to be able to be sustainable.
You have the latest opinion and analysis you need on the home of hockey, NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
Hey Toronto, I'm David Morsuti, host of the daily Toronto Maple Leafs podcast, Locked On Leafs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network on the SiriusXM app. Every weekday, we bring you the latest Leafs news and analysis, break down all the action, including this game you're listening to right now, and preview the next one. We're giving you everything a Leafs fan could want, all in a daily 30-minute podcast. Download Locked On Leafs right now on the SiriusXM app, available with all trials and popular plans, or where you get your podcasts. Search Locked On Leafs.
If you're a soccer fan, you know that this music means one thing. The Champions League is on SiriusXM FC.
Hat-trick for Erling Haaland. Kane scores.
The top teams from around Europe are battling for club soccer's holy grail.
Real Madrid do what they do best. What a start for Inter.
Hear all the top Champions League matches all tournament long on SiriusXM FC 157 and streaming on the SiriusXM app.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen. Walks in. Put it between his legs. Shoots and scores.
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
Leafs Radio Network.
The Leafs just not able to enjoy prosperity after taking a 4-1 first period lead. Goals from Zibanejad and Wheeler have dragged the Rangers right back into this contest. The Leafs out shooting New York 11-3 in a solid first period, and then being outshot 15-8 in the second, and find themselves hanging on to another 1-goal lead, and nothing new because 9 of the last 10 games have been decided by a single digit for the Maple Leafs thus far this in the last month and a half. So 1-goal games have been the norm, but when you have a 3-goal lead, you don't want to be in a 1-goal game.
Even if it is against the New York Rangers, one of the top teams in the Eastern Conference, tied with the Bruins coming in. But it was the way. I mean, it could have been worse, Joe. I mean, Martin Jones had a couple of breakaways before that.
Leafs to the left and the Rangers to the right as it's shot down into the Ranger zone. Nylander down the boards. Puck goes down into the corner for him. He swings it around the wall to the far side. Leafs with a little bit of zone time here. Nylander working back towards the point. Sent it in wide. Noah Gregor sent it out in front of the net, but Matthews had gone around to the far side and no one was there. Rangers have played it back into the Toronto zone. McCabe getting it around to his defense partner, then return to McCabe. McCabe saucers it back, and Lagesson gets it ahead. You joined us late. Matthew Nyes out with influenza. And Ryan Reeves, the healthy scratch, as the Leafs go with 7D here tonight. Puck in the Toronto zone, poked out at center ice by Robertson. Niffed along now for Tavares, working in on the left wing, going to the net in front of the goal. What a save, the rebound! And another save made by Shesterkin. Two glorious chances for the Leafs. The first by Marner, the second by Bertuzzi. And a penalty coming here to New York.
It's going to be an interference call, but Mitch Marner had a spectacular opportunity. Tyler Bertuzzi actually made the play, got the puck out of the Leaf zone, then chipped it up to Tavares. That led to a 2-on-1. And Mitch Marner, I'm not sure if Shesterkin, if the second one got to him or if it was blocked. It might have been Jacob Trouba was the defenseman that blocked it. It would have been into the empty net. But Trouba, with the two-pad stack, slides over and takes the goal away.
You got a video of Brian Matthews thinking that maybe twice they had scored, but did not. So now the Leafs on the power play for the second time in the game.
Well, how big is this one?
As Gustafsson is in the penalty box. Yeah, you're right. Can really get a little of the momentum shifted back to the Maple Leaf bench with a power play goal here.
That was Zibanejad on a power play that made it 4-2. Then set up the Wheeler goal off the rush. Wheeler's second of the night. If I'm not mistaken, Blake Wheeler's first hat-trick in the National Hockey League was with the Boston Bruins against the Leafs in his rookie year.
Draw to the right of Shesterkin. Draw one cleanly by Tavares. Back to the point. It comes to Riley. He walks the line. Middle of the ice. Got the shot away and scores! Morgan Riley let the shot go from the point. Mitch Marner may have redirected it in front, but the Maple Leafs have the power play goal and a 2-goal lead once again.
You love it when they've got forwards going to the front of the net, and it's sort of layered. You had Marner in the high slot, Tavares right in front of the net. And Morgan Riley takes the puck on the left wing boards, moves along the blue line to get to the middle of the ice, and then launches it. And Mitch Marner, with a little deflection in the high slot, puts it in. And for Marner, that's his second of the game and 11th on the season to have the Leafs up 5-3.
Goal comes at a minute 29, and much needed as trying to stem the tide a little bit from the New York Rangers. And now the Leafs have it again and over the line. Noah Gregor, and he couldn't pull the trigger on the shot before it was knocked off his stick. Rangers back the other way. Vesey getting in on the right side, playing it down into the corner. Leafs getting to it first. Lagesson back at the net. Then McCabe had his pass blocked. It comes back to the blue line and chipped out at center ice by Toronto. Gregor signaling that he wants to get a change going, and the Rangers are doing likewise. Now they bring it out into the center ice area and down to the Leaf blue line. Worked in on the left wing side by Trocheck. Got it back to the point. Fed back around the boards to the far side. Lafreniere unable to get a shot away. A couple of Leafs collide. And now here are the Leafs getting it down in on the left wing with Domi. Domi goes wide. Sends it in front of the net. Good save by Shesterkin made there off Nick Robertson. Another shot goes wide of the goal to the far side. Yarncrook unable to get to it cleanly. Is able to knock it down at center. Then took a hit as he almost ended up in the Ranger bench, but got the puck deep into New York territory. Leafs 5, the Rangers 3. Zach Jones gets it down into the Leaf zone. Leafs surround the New York player in front of the net, and unable to make a play was Blake Wheeler, but now the Leafs fail to get it out. At the blue line, a wrist shot that was deflected wide. And Riley, a long lead pass, knocked out of the air again by the Rangers and maintained in the offensive zone. Trouba, a pass across on the far side. Jones got across nicely to take that away from Chris Kreider. Back to the point it comes. Still with it are the Rangers, dropping it off. Zibanejad drops it back to the blue line. That's blocked. Riley unable to get to a loose puck on the near boards. Kept alive by Eric Gustafsson. To the far side, Zibanejad tied up there by Brody. Riley couldn't get it out. Neither could David Camp. Pass into the goal slot area. Cleared to the line, but not out. Just kept in at the blue line, and a hit there sends Gustafsson into the corner boards. And Brody loses his stick in the fray. The Leafs finally get the puck out at center ice, and that was done by Bobby McMahon. Rangers right back in over the line. Off a stick, it comes back to the point. Wheeler sends it towards the net. Leafs get it up on the wing. McMahon trying to get it out over the line, does not. And again, it's around the boards to the far side. This time with the Rangers changing, the Leafs at least have some time and space. Morgan Riley got it ahead at center, and it is bounced down into the Ranger zone, but the New Yorkers are back to recover. Lindgren playing it into the corner. Slipping and falling there was Bertuzzi. The puck comes out at center and pushed ahead now by Kool-Aid, now broken up by the Maple Leafs and sent right back down into New York territory. Coming up on 5 minutes played in the third period, the Leafs have added to their total and lead it by a 5-3 count on the power play goal by Mitch Marner. Riley and Matthews drawing the assists on the goal. Played by Bertuzzi to center. Marner couldn't come up with it. He has 2 goals on the night. McCabe, nice little lead there for Connor Timmons, who gets it out at center. Tavares couldn't play it ahead the first time, did the second. Noah Gregor got it in a little deeper for him, and the puck is around back of the Ranger goal. Trocheck gets it out over the line. A delayed offside. The Leafs had to tag up. Now the puck out into the center ice area. Timmons unable to reach it. Neither could Benoit. It played to the far wing, now around back of the Toronto goal. Rangers trying to cycle it as they get it back to the point. Jones works down the left wing. Gregor may have got an elbow in there, a bit of a hole, but no call apparently. Back to the blue line it comes. The Rangers with it again. Panarin at the point trying to send it in. It deflects to the side of the goal. Leafs finally with control of it in their own zone, playing it off the glass to center. New York goes back. Schneider. A pass ahead at center for Zibanejad. Over on the right wing, and a weak shot that was partially slowed up by Morgan Riley's stick. Turns into a fairly easy save for Martin Jones. But Morgan Riley's point shot redirected by Mitch Marner as the Leafs out in front 5-3. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
This league's crazy right now. This thing is all up in the air.
When it happens in the NFL, we're reacting to it on Sirius XM NFL Radio.
Travis Kelce. This dude sees the game differently and at a much higher level than a lot of people out there running around playing.
Get closer to the game with interviews with players, coaches, and executives.
Hall of Fame quarterback Troy Aikman joining us.
Dak has always had all of the intangibles, and it's why I've always had so much respect for him.
Nobody covers the game like Sirius XM NFL Radio, Channel 88.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Network Radio. Mike Johnson.
5-on-5 defensive game for Tampa is getting to the point, Gord, where it is a concern. And it's not just because Vasilevsky hasn't played the entire season. They're giving up almost 4 goals a game. No matter how good your offense is, that's not going to be able to be sustainable.
Get the latest opinion and analysis you need on the home of hockey, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
It's between the Ken Hitchcock dots. And the Sens are too loosey-goosey there. They talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk. Ottawa's not like that. And until that part really improves, I don't believe they'll be a playoff team. They'll wow you. They'll wow the fans. They'll win or lose 5-4. But right now, they're middling right now. They're a middling hockey club.
The Power Play. Weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Leafs Radio Network.
The Leafs 5, the New York Rangers 3, with 13:52 to play in the third period from Madison Square Garden in New York, as the Leafs complete this 2-game road trip through Manhattan and Long Island and will head home and host the Columbus Blue Jackets on Thursday night. Game we'll have for you at 7 o'clock, so we hope that you will join us on the network. Leafs, who have won 57% of the draws, won that but didn't get the puck out. Rangers with it, cycling around into the far corner. Procheck tied up on the boards by David Camp. That's drawn Bobby McMahon into the fray along with Morgan Riley. Played to the near wing. Chopped at there by Yarncrook, but they couldn't get it out. A wraparound attempt was thwarted there by Jones. And the Leafs play it to the line, but not out. Kept alive by Eric Gustafson of the Rangers. Now up on the wing for McMahon. He's able to push it to the blue line, but not out again. Rangers keeping it in once more. Back to the point. Fed to the left point man, and now Gustafson had knocked away, and it comes out into the center ice area, and the Leafs will regroup it back in their own end. Changes coming again for Toronto. Morgan Riley stretches things out and waits patiently for the changes to be made. Now he comes straight up ice to center and shoots it in. Max Domi out there along with Robertson and Tyler Bertuzzi, and it's back out at center ice. Rangers will shoot it in. Round far side. Lagesson knocked his man down. The puck is underneath him, and now it comes free. Rangers back of the goal. Trying to come out was Kreider. He carries back of the point. Far side. Played right back in for Kreider. Now Kreider looking top circle with a shot in the glove hand of Jones. Very coolly snaps out there and takes that and holds on. Your assessment of Martin Jones thus far?
I think he's been solid. I mean, you know, a couple of the first goal goes, I think it was going wide and bounced in off TJ Brody. You know, sometimes you like to have the save coming off the wing, but when we start throwing those around, every game in the Leafs have benefited the same way. Remember in Ottawa, the Leafs scored, 2 or 3 goals coming off the wing. So for Martin Jones, I think it's been positive, but a lot of work to do yet. And he made those breakaway saves in the second period.
12:14 left to play in the third period. Brody deflecting the puck into the Toronto bench.
But he's pretty solid in the sense that there's no wasted movement. You don't see him sliding out of position and getting into trouble that way.
And he doesn't seem to get into the I just need to lock myself and get into the piece of plywood here.
Drop and block.
Drop and block. Yeah, he's tracking the puck well.
And really, the Leafs have not been great in front of him. They've given up way more odd man rushes in this game than they did in all of the game against the New York Islanders last night.
Rangers now out shooting the Maple Leafs 23-22. Puck up against the boards on the far side. Really scrummed along, and finally it comes free, and Nylander has some skating room on the right wing. He'll get it down and just roll it deep into the zone. Hustling in there was Noah Gregor up against the boards. Nylander is able to come away with it. Tried to center for Matthews, who knocked it baseball style out of the air to play it into the boards back of the net. And now the Rangers trying to get it up, and Connor Timmons steps into his man, and Gregor has to get back to make sure he can get it over on the far side. Simon Benoit plays to the Ranger blue line. Stolen back by Matthews. Left wing side Bertuzzi winding and shooting, and he drilled it right into the chest of Igor Shesterkin. And he will stop play and bring a face-off with 11:16 into the New York area. 5-3, the Leafs with the lead.
For Noah Gregor, we talked about him moving up the lineup, playing with Austin Matthews and Willie Nylander. Just getting a look at his total ice time. Right now, he's already, boy, that keeps moving, doesn't it? 15:09 of ice time for Noah Gregor. His season high was 12 minutes and 39 seconds in Boston, and the Leafs were there much earlier in the season. It was the night that Timothy Liljegren sustained his injury.
Well, all of the forwards will benefit from the 7D going tonight. McMahon into the forecheck. Had it played around back of the Ranger goal. Pinching down there is McCabe to keep it in. Back of the net go the Rangers to restore. And near side Schneider giving it back to his defense partner. Zach Jones gets it out at center. Leafs with it once more. Can't get it in deep, but have it under control back in their own zone. McCabe to the near side for McMahon. McMahon drops it back. McCabe waiting patiently for teammates to change. Got it ahead. Deflects in off Tavares into Ranger territory. And we are approaching the halfway mark of the period. Played around back of the net. Schneider lost it. It comes in front for Marner, looking for the hat trick. And he set it just high over top of the net. Leafs steal it again. Tavares dropping for Marner. His shot deflects. Tavares around back of the goal, had it knocked away. Able to get it back to the net once more, but can't get a stick on it. And the Rangers now play it, but not out. Good play by Bertuzzi to knock it away. It's cleared back in, but it's a delay. And the Rangers will get it down into the Leaf zone. Bonino working wide, trying to come out in front, and a backhand went just wide of the net. Back to the point, long shot, blockered away by Jones. Another shot goes off a leg, and Karam's out at center ice. Rangers on the near wing. Procheck across the line. The linesman says on the far side, your man was offside. As Mitch Marner comes very close to securing the hat trick, as that may have glanced off the far post and go wide of the net. It is 5-3 Toronto. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
What's up, Leafs fans? Another awesome night here on TSI. Thank you to each and every one of you for hanging out with us. Please don't forget to hit that like button, as it helps bring more Leafs fans into the chat. The more the better. A big shout out to our insiders and VIP members. Your support is truly appreciated. I cannot explain to you what it means for this community. Please consider joining our community. It's only 99 cents a month. I made it as low as possible so that we can get more and more people joining our community. Awesome member exclusive emojis in the chat during these Leafs games, and add your name to the scroll down below. Anyways, enough of the necessary evils to keep growing this amazing Toronto sports community and Maple Leafs community. Back to Leafs hockey. Go Leafs go. I'll see you guys in the chat. Peace.
There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
There are many peculiar words in the English language. Words like salivigant, peregrinate, nemophilus, peripatetic, and conviviality. Yet, there is no word for getting the most out of winter in your Subaru, thanks to symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and X-Mode. Until now. We call it unhibernate. As in, while your neighbors stay home, you'll be unhibernating all winter in your Subaru. So peregrinate to your local Subaru dealer today, and welcome to Uncommon Winter Confidence.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
Nice has tied the game, but a brilliant play by Max Domi
on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
9 minutes and 36 seconds remain in the third period. The Leafs nursing a 2-goal lead that had dwindled to a 1-goal lead in the second period. But Marner from Riley and Matthews on the power play at a minute 29 of the third period has at least got them a little bit of a comfort zone, as it has banked off a stick down into Ranger territory, but whistled down.
You've got Marner with a pair of goals, Matthews with 3 points and a goal and 2 assists, and Kelly Yarncrook with a goal and an assist as well. But boy, we've talked about this a lot and a lot off the air, but Morgan Riley has been so steady. You know, with all the injuries and everything else that we've seen the Leafs had to endure on the blue line. And Morgan Riley is the one rock they've got back there. Great offensively, and we saw him score the tying goal with 6 seconds left last night and help restore the Leafs 2-goal lead with a point shot tonight.
Puck down in the Ranger zone, back of the net, being scrummed up there by Matthews. Yarncrook out with Nylander and Matthews now. And in across the line come the Rangers with Lindgren with a long shot and a good hit. Now McCabe is going to get into a fisticuffs here with Zibanejad. And that's dropped Gustafsson into the fray, too. They don't want one of their star offensive players getting into it. But Jake McCabe stands him up.
And it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, I don't think you've got fighting majors here. It'll be interesting to see if Zibanejad is going to get the extra. I don't believe there was a penalty on the hit. Jake McCabe is pointing. But I don't believe there. I mean, this is a clean hit, and this is where it gets a little bit ridiculous.
Well, we heard the official just say the McCabe penalty for roughing. Whoa, it was a beauty, though. Well, he really stood up. Ryan Lindgren with the hit.
But see, this is where you have to agree with John Tortorella. Ryan Lindgren drops the puck and looks back at where he dropped it to. And that's why Jake McCabe stepped into him. And right now we're seeing the Leafs with a power play on the board, so Zibanejad might have got a double minor for roughing.
Yeah, well,
but again, you've got a clean hit, and somebody's got to fight for it.
And that's the second time that McCabe's been involved in something like that. But, I mean, that was as good a hit as you're going to see in this league.
The Nashville game, same thing happened in the third period. Gabe had a big hit and had to drop his gloves. Over this time, not fighting majors coming out of it.
So the third power play of the game for the Maple Leafs. And they can go a long way to making things a little comfortable here going in the final 8 minutes or so. Riley at the point with a shot that was deflected wide. The rebound on the near wing is sent high and out and down the ice by New York. Rangers penalty kill is 8th in the National Hockey League, but they gave up their 14th power play goal earlier in this period. Here's Marner. 2 goals on the night across the line, and as he tried to make a pass, it went off a skate and Karam's to center. Leafs regroup it again, looking for Matthews to drop behind, and now here's Matthews coming through neutral ice. Hits the red line and blue line, got it in over the line, but again, the Rangers are able to play it out and down into Toronto territory, and Nylander goes back. Here comes Willie. Nylander to the line. Tried to go to the left. The puck went to the right. Rangers take advantage. Shoot it down the ice again. And the Leafs have not set up in the offensive zone. Rangers pressure there. And VC trying to get after it. But now the Leafs trying to work their way out with Matthews coming slowly out of his own end. Works to the right wing side. Then dropped it back. Brought on by Calle Yarncrook. Yarncrook got it to the line. Broken up again by New York and sped back. Matthews trying to get off the ice as the pass comes ahead to Bertuzzi. He gets it in over the line. Just kept in there by the Leafs to Domi. Domi fans on a pass. Now trying to contain it into the corner there was Robertson. Yarncrook sending it around on the wall for Bertuzzi. Bertuzzi back behind the net for Yarncrook. Centered in front for Domi. Oh, what a chance he had there. But a sprawling block. Domi with another shot. There's a scramble in front of the net. Robertson with a shot. It's underneath Shesterkin. Max Domi won't come any closer to scoring than he did just there.
Boy, and Yarncrook as well. So the first unit don't generate much. And then with the last 35 seconds of the power play, it's the second unit that generates a number of scoring chances. Max Domi first has the chance and rips it towards the net. I think it was Pitlick that dropped down and blocked it. And then Calle Yarncrook had a great chance. Shesterkin made the save, but I don't think he knew he did until the whistle went.
7 seconds left in the power play. David Camp, fourth line or third/fourth line out there for Toronto, and they win the draw. Final seconds as Timmons let a shot go that went wide of the net. Cleared along the boards by Camp, but stolen back, and the Rangers back at full and even strength work it to the line and get it down into the Toronto zone. Brody around back of the net, strumming it up against the boards. It's played to the near wall. Chip back to the point. Long shot taken there by Trouba. Went over top of the net. And around back of the net, the Leaf got yanked off his skates. That was Brody. Could have been a penalty there. Timmons getting it ahead. Brought out at center ice now by Gregor. And across the line, left wing side, trying to get a shot away, and it went wide. McMahon has the puck on the near boards. Sends it towards the net, blockered away by Shesterkin. Puck is still free in the slot area. It comes out into neutral ice, and Simon Benoit will just chip it right back in. The Leafs 5, the Rangers 3. Played down into the Toronto zone with 6 minutes to play in the third period. Nylander. His pass intercepted, centered in front of the net, knocked away by the Leaf defense, and quickly cleared off the boards to center by Nick Robertson. Matthews up there. Nylander able to intercept a pass, then had it stolen away from him. Rangers against the boards, trying to scrum it as Fox. Matthews is on him, and it's played around back of the Ranger goal and stretching things out, and Adam Fox has it again. Fox getting it up on the right wing. Rangers hit the Toronto blue line in on the wing with a shot that deflected wide. The rebound was chipped in front of the net. Look out! Nick Robertson was going to be filled in there, but he got a wind of it and ducked it, and he missed a hit. Rangers on the left wing. Benito, maybe he heard me, playing in front of the goal, and it was just deflected wide of the net. Morgan Riley pushes the puck up the left wing boards and then stops to get to the bench. The Rangers bring it right back in. Knocked off his stick, and it's back into neutral ice once more. 4:54 to play in the third. Work to be done yet.
Yeah, the Leafs need to keep this crowd quiet.
Lindgren getting it ahead. BC plays it in on the left wing. Knocked down there by Connor Timmons. The puck goes around back of the net for David Camp. He has a little bit of skating room. Played it up on the right wing side, and Timmons chips it the rest of the way down the ice, but it's going to be an icing call against Toronto with 4.5 minutes to play in the third period, and the Leafs leading by a score of 5-3.
Well, we mentioned that the Leafs are dressing 7 defensemen tonight, so only 11 forwards. But the combination of David Camp and Bobby McMahon have really spent a lot of time in their own end. Whether it's been Yarncrook out, or we saw after the power play Noah Gregor drop back down with that unit. And they have been good of late. We had even David Camp scoring in back-to-back games before the game against the New York Islanders last night.
4 minutes and 29 seconds remaining in the third period. Camp will take the draw. Prochek taking the face-off for the Rangers, and the Rangers win the face-off. Back to the point. Fox in with a shot. Blockered away nicely, and as it rolls into the goal crease area, Jones has got his catching glove on top of it. And William Lagesson giving a little work done in front of the net to make sure Jones wasn't impeded. So, final 4:23 to come. The Maple Leafs with a 5-3 lead. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Here's what's happening on Sirius XM Sports.
A Tuesday night college hoops doubleheader on Sirius XM College Sports Radio. You got Duke hosting Hofstra in the opener. That'll be followed by Oral Roberts and Texas Tech from Lubbock in the nightcap. Play-by-play coverage airing now on your 24/7 home for college sports. It's Sirius XM College Sports Radio Channel 84 and on the Sirius XM app.
Sirius XM Sports. Wherever you are, your team plays here.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
24/7 hockey talk.
One of the greatest goaltenders of all time, Patrick Law. When you put your hands up, did you know at that moment that you were done?
No, I did not. Unfortunately, it happened. Just gave me a chance to have a fresh start somewhere else and be traded to Colorado was a good opportunity. Sometimes you need that little, change, and it was welcome for me.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91. And on your schedule with the Sirius XM app. The Point with Boomer Gordon.
18 months ago, I had New Flyers head coach John Tortorella. And I asked him what he was worried about the club, and he said, I don't like the room. We have a bad room. And I'm like, you haven't even coached this team yet. A year and a half later, John Tortorella loves his room. He loves this team, and he loves that they compete every night.
Point with Boomer Gordon. 1 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Network.
Joe Bowen along with Jim Ralph. Harman Zagarian running the operation, and Austin Mackey pushing all of the right buttons to keep us going here as the Leafs have a 5-3 lead with 4 minutes and 23 seconds to play in the third period. And Martin Jones looking to win his second game for the Maple Leafs.
First start. By the way, this is the 69th time that Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner have scored in the same game.
What's the record?
59-4-5. Thanks, Armin. Hope it's right.
Yeah. Leafs break out of their own zone and launch it high into neutral ice. Fox back in his own territory. Got it up on the left wing for Panarin. He'll snap it down into the zone. Lafreniere in after it, but the Leafs intercept. Got it up on the wing, but Lafreniere was able to keep it in. Near side, looking for it is Trocheck. Trocheck to the far side to the point. Looking to the left wing side, closing in. Jones with a good save, but a scramble. And the puck goes into the corner, and Brody will play it up on the wing, but not out. Now Brody gets a second opportunity, and it is punched out into the center ice area. Igor Shesterkin remains in the net. Peter Laviolette will no doubt get him out here shortly with 3.5 minutes to play. Brodzinski sends it into the Toronto zone. Lagesson back of the net for McCabe. Round on the boards near side. Bertuzzi engaged there. Matthews sifting around, hoping to come up with a loose puck along the near wall, but it's still down in the Toronto zone. Punched around to the far point, kept in by the Rangers. At the blue line, it's intercepted and brought out by Toronto. Nylander along with Bertuzzi took it in. Drop pass and a shot right on Shesterkin, robbing Matthews there. And the Rangers will get it out at center ice. Off the boards again for Nylander. Flip once more for Matthews. Looking for a second. Another shot. Rebound. Scores! Austin Matthews once again. What a performance. A multi-goal game for the 66th time of his career. And the 21st of this campaign has iced this one with 2:49 left.
This is great off the rush. The first opportunity that Matthews tries to throw to the net is blocked by Jacob Trouba. But the rebound bounced right back onto his stick. Trouba didn't know where it was, as it bounced to his right. And Matthews picks it back up on the forehand. Shesterkin seemed to be a little mesmerized as to where the puck was as well. And when Matthews found it right back on his stick in the left wing circle, he rifles it up under the crossbar. And for Austin Matthews, a 4-point night.
And Father Brian enjoying it all as a deflection goes wide of the Toronto goal. So the Maple Leafs, who had a 3-goal lead to start the second period and then saw it dwindle to a 1-goal lead, have restored it again. And I'm telling you, the plumber's got to fix the drain because it's all at one end of the rink. It's all been to our right. Another shot. Jones down off the one-timer from Zibanejad that beat him earlier on the power play. This time he's able to swallow it up and hold on.
What, 8 of 9? Remember we did a Leaf New Jersey playoff game, and I believe the Devils won it 6-5 in overtime, and 10 of the 11 goals were to our right, which was a New Jersey home end, and I believe Alexander McGillney ended it in overtime for the Devils.
Brian Matthews leading the the New York Ranger goal chant. Hey, 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 hey. And much to the delight of Ty Domi down there as well.
No brass bonanza.
No, one-timer again, blockered away by Jones. Rangers keeping the puck in. Minute 56 to go, and they have gone with 6 attackers, the Rangers have. At the point, Fox on the right wing side, and a wrist shot blocked by Riley. Punched out now for Bertuzzi, looking at the empty net. Bounced wide of the goal, but it went off a body, so there's no icing. Zibanejad works his way through center, got it to the wing, broken up again by the Leafs, and another shot to an empty net went wide, and now racing in there after it is David Kampf, who will punch it into the empty goal to make it a 7-3 hockey game.
And for David Kampf, that's 3 goals now in his last 4 games. First empty netter of the season. But the Leafs, this is a smart play. Just get it down the ice. It's one of the luxuries you have with a 2-goal lead. But David Kampf reads it, beats the Rangers back, Everybody caught deep and plays it off the backboards and just taps it into the empty net from the blue paint.
Yeah, Camp denied the icing because he was the one that got back there first. So what would have been an icing is not. Camp was there, jams it into the empty net for his 4th goal of the campaign. And the Maple Leafs are in a laugher that wasn't a laugher.
No, it was down to a smile or a smirk at the end of the second period. And the Leafs saw their 4-1 lead disappear, and the Rangers had come back and won 2 out of the 7 games that they trailed into the 3rd period. But fortunately, I mean, the big goal was the Marner power play goal to restore the 2-goal lead.
Yep. Puck goes into the Toronto bench. And Martin Jones, who has faced 30 shots, given up 3 goals, is in line for his 2nd victory in a Leaf uniform.
I know we have the Molson 3 Stars coming up.
227th victory of his career.
Certainly on the plus side in wins and losses.
The Leafs will launch it up the boards, but it goes off a skate. Kept in by New York. Rangers into the far corner. Not often that you can come into the Madison Square Garden and have people heading for the exits fairly early. Rangers play it around the boards to the point. Kept in at the near side by Jones. A long shot went wide off the stick of Zach Jones. Another shot in front. Sprawling to block that was Benoit. Leafs now on it, and it's going to be airmailed high to center ice and down into the New York zone with 27 seconds left. Rangers back in their own end. 4th line out for Toronto. Shot by Trouba into the Toronto end. McCabe lets it go. Round back of the net. And you can hear some of the Leaf fans in attendance cheering it up. Maybe that's just the fathers from one of the end. I'm not sure. Final seconds ticking down. And the Maple Leafs will win for the 7th time on the road and the 15th time this season to pick up their 35th point. And they do it with 2-goal performances from Matthews and Marner and win it 7-3. The 3 Stars brought to you by Molson.
I did switch them at the end. I had Kelly Yarncrook at 3rd, but I'm going to go Martin Jones, the 3rd star. Stops 27 out of 30. His first start of the season for the Leafs. And when you looked at the schedule and thought, okay, back-to-back, the backup's probably going to play the 2nd game. This was not an easy game for Martin Jones. 2nd of back-to-backs, and it's against the top team in the Eastern Conference, the New York Rangers. Stops 27 of 30, so his save percentage stays the same at .900. I'm right, aren't I? Yeah. Give that to me. 900. He's
look,
third.
I still have my shoes on. All right, I don't have all of the digits out there to count, so I can't really help you.
He's the
until somebody corrects us, it's correct.
3rd start of the game. Mitch Marner, 2 goals, 2 points on the night, and Austin Matthews, 2 goals, 4 points on the night. Rounded out 3rd, 2nd, 1st.
Pretty successful trip for the fathers. John Tavares gets his 1,000th point. He got his 1,001st point in the first period here tonight. And Matthews and Marner put on a show, and the Toronto Maple Leafs better the New York Rangers 7-3. Eilish Farfar and Justin Cuthbert coming your way. Join us on Thursday when the Leafs host Columbus. You've been listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Truck.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day. Think 2-minute truck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2-minute-truck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks, so give us a call today.
Unhibernate. Verb. To laugh in the face of snow because you drive a Subaru. As in, when I unhibernate, I have the roads all to myself because my Subaru has symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and others don't. Or, the award-winning safety in my Subaru means I can unhibernate all winter while my neighbors stare longingly from their bedroom windows. Or my favorite usage. I'm going to unhibernate this winter by visiting my local Subaru dealer today. Welcome to Uncommon Winter Confidence.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. The Maple Leafs did it big in the Big Apple, running the score up. The Dads are happy, taking one on the road against the New York Rangers at MSG. That was a fun one. We were a little worried after the second period that the Leafs might have lost their momentum, but they found it, and they end up with a 7-3 win over the Rangers.
Yeah, and you got to give credit to them, right? We were both feeling a little bit anxious about where this third period was going to go, but when you come out and you produce a scoring chance that results in the New York Rangers taking a penalty, then you score on that power play. Well, you take the momentum the Rangers had and you give it to yourself. So the Maple Leafs earned that one. They turned around the game state, and they turned in a really, really good third period that featured really nothing for the New York Rangers. So it was an impressive response to the second period, an impressive victory on the second night of a back-to-back on the Big Apple.
Martin Jones, Mitch Marner, and Austin Matthews would be my three biggest stars of that game. I mean, I was curious to how Martin Jones would have his first NHL start with the Maple Leafs, and he made some really, really great saves. I'll say Shesterkin as well kept the Rangers somewhat competitive in those last two periods because he made some crazy saves as well. But really good for Jones. Samsonov is going to have a lot more opportunity down the road to get some starts, but it was a pretty good showing. I'm sure the guys are probably going to give him the belt tonight if I had to predict, but Matthews with 2, Marner with 2. All the stars shining in the Big Apple.
Yeah, probably. We're going to end every little phrase here with Big Apple. I like that.
Try it again.
I will work it in here. Yeah, I mean, that's got to be a confidence booster, right? I remember a time not too long ago, Michael Hutchinson coming up, and the Maple Leafs just knew they could not win hockey games with Michael Hutchinson in net, and that is not the case when you got a goaltender in Martin Jones, who, yes, has not been able to cut it as an NHL starter of late, but has pedigree in the NHL and be considered one of the better number 3 goaltenders around the league. I think they can lean on him here, and they're going to have to lean on him here on this busy stretch of hockey without Joseph Woll.
And he looked good in the Big Apple.
There you go.
You missed it, Justin.
I didn't think
that hit.
I didn't think I had it in me.
The McCabe hit might honestly be one of the biggest, hardest hits in the NHL this season. They've played it multiple times here on the broadcast. We get to rewatch it if you didn't get a chance to see it. I think that is the definition of a bone-crushing hit.
And clean, too. There will be, I'm not going to make any predictions based on the Department of Player Safety, but I would imagine there would not be any reason to even look at it. That was good, clean, fun. That was a very, very hard hit, and one that was within the rules. And when they're hard and within the rules, I'm all for it.
All right, let's take a last look around the NHL scoreboard before we send it to Leafs Talk with JD Bunkus and Sam McKee. The NHL scoreboard is presented by Bet365. Visit the app for the latest odds and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus, Ontario only. Play responsibly.
Yep, 5 games either final or ongoing, and 5 games still to come after 10 p.m. The Penguins beat the Coyotes 4-2. The Hurricanes got a 4-1 victory over the Ottawa Senators. The Maple Leafs, of course, 7-3 winners over the Rangers. It's 4-4 in the third period between the Red Wings and Blues. The Predators have a 2-0 lead on the Flyers. And still to come, Kraken host the Panthers. Oilers host the Blackhawks. Golden Knights host the Flames. Canucks host the Lightning. And the Sharks host the Winnipeg Jets.
All right, that's it for the boys in the Big Apple. Let's send it to those here in Toronto. Leafs Talk with JD Bunkus and Sam McKee is next. Thanks for listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
In 24 hours that we're doing together. Congratulations, a new record for you and I. Leafs Talk, JD Bunkus, Sam McKee. If you're watching this on YouTube, go over after. You can see the other podcast that we posted today, which was Most Heartbreaking Toronto Sports Memories. It's there also on the JD Bunkus podcast feed. You can find it on all of our socials at JD Bunkus, at Sam McKee. Leafs win 7-3. Gotta say, this was pretty shocking. Leafs coming out on the second half of a back-to-back and absolutely jumping the Rangers, withstanding a just horrific close to a second period, and then finding a way to battle back and close it out.
Yeah, I'm stunned.
Not for one moment did I see this coming tonight. We talked about it at length. A schedule loss, flu bug going through the team.
You got the flu bug?
I don't know if it was the flu bug or it was the Labatt Blue flu sweeping through the group after a big night with the fathers after Tavares' first 1,000th point last night or whatever. But yeah, like you said it. They came out. I don't think the Rangers expected them to have that jump. I think they knew what was going on. Second half of back-to-back, big emotional night. And the Leafs just were all over them. When have they started on time? Like, I know they scored 4, but outside of the actual results, they were just way better than they've ever played in the first period all year. Like, they were all over them from the drop of the puck. So really impressive victory tonight.
So I thought it was just going to be one of those games where the Leafs gave them their best punch early, and then they were dead in the water in the second period. Second period, they started just like, it was prevent defense, baby. It was just flip the puck out of the zone, try to keep the Rangers to the outside. Oh, God, hold on for dear life. Connor Timmons has given up every breakaway chance, bad penalty, whatever he could do to possibly get the Rangers back into this hockey game. They score on the power play, and then they get one, I think, a minute 56 later, and all I'm thinking is, this is the loss. This is what we expected it to be. So it's like, what was more shocking to you, the beginning of the first or the beginning of the third? Because both of them caught me by surprise.
Well, they get the good start, and then they get the power play, and they score immediately, and that felt like it took the Rangers right out of the game. Like, they had one shot on that power play. It was like 5 seconds into it where they just get the goal, make it 5-3, and it really felt like that was the dagger in the game.
Yeah, it was the dagger.
It just was so quick in that period. Like, if they had gone further into this period without that sort of like mental motivation of getting a 2-goal lead, I definitely could have seen this going sideways. But I think that was just enough for them to kind of push them over the edge and get them through this final frame and obviously get them up to 7 goals with an empty netter, which I didn't see coming. But they needed that one early, bud. They needed that one early bad to see something go well after the end of the second period. So yeah, it was a nice little treat for them, because if they didn't get that, I don't know how it would have gone. I really don't.
Yeah. I've figured out what the identity of this team is tonight.
What's that?
They're the just enough boys.
Just enough? They give just enough?
Just enough. Like, it's always just enough with these guys, right? Like, that's the whole season about like all the games that they get into overtime. And tonight it's the same thing where it's like they give you just enough at the start of the game and just enough to start the third period to be able to lock up this game. That's been the entire Leaf season, buddy. There's never, how many games have they given a full 60? The Bruins game? Like, yeah. Felt like, wow, that was a really complete effort.
I'm trying to think back. Yeah, Nashville. I mean, Nashville was awful. Like, I can't even really give them a ton of credit for dominating that team. They should have dominated that team. But yeah, like, I mean, we do so many of these. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. But yeah, I think the Bruins game sticks out to me as a really dominant effort. Probably their best game of the year to this point. But yeah, and outside of that, there hasn't been a ton of complete efforts. It's the fact they're sitting, what are they, 2 points behind the Bruins or 3 points behind the Bruins now? It's pretty unbelievable. Like, the fact that we're sitting here, the fact that we're sitting, oh, sorry.
No, that's it. It's just enough to get a point, just enough to get 2 points. It's like, that's what they do almost every single night. And that's the way I felt tonight, where it was just like, hey, just enough. They did just enough to get 2.
Yeah. I think that's a pretty fair way to put it. But I am surprised to see where they're sitting here after watching most of this season, the standings and where they're firmly in a playoff spot. There was points throughout this season where I was worried about that. Like, they really looked awful for long stretches, as you know, but I think you got to give them a ton of credit. You're calling them the just enough boys, but like, look at their decor they're running out there. They're on their third string goalie now. They've had, I guess the flu bug is a more recent thing, so you're not going to blame that. They've had inconsistencies from some of their players, like their bottom six was giving them nothing. We've had all these crises throughout this, or crises. I don't know. I got the flu. Crises throughout this year. And here we are sitting with them being in a really good spot heading into the next half part of the season. So I'm really, really surprised. 4 points behind the Bruins as of right now. And I think they have a few games in hand because they haven't played many. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I really can't believe it.
Yeah. There's definitely been ways for this thing to fall off the wagon, right?
Oh, yeah.
And it has. It's been essentially a real feeling of, hey, you want more. But again, it's always been just enough to get points. That's what it's been for them is they've found a way to scrap their way into them. And so, yeah, I think that's sort of what the identity of the team is. All I know is bring the dads to more games because maybe they'll start on time with the dads in the building, the dads judging them, and those guys do it. Yeah, a little accountability from the Papas. Some guys on the team, less dad presence, more guys on the team with lots of dad presence.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know if you were doing this, but I was clearly, observing the father's dynamics.
How could you not? That's so fun.
It's like, who's the alpha father? Who's what's the dynamics between all these other guys? But like, it really felt like a lot of them are just deferring to Matthews. Matthews' dad to me seemed like the alpha of the dads, even with Ty there. Ty is talking to him the whole trip. But everybody wants to be near. Everybody wants to be near. What's his? Brian? Is it Brian Matthews? Everyone wants to be around him. Everyone wants to be there with him. I think Ty is clearly because he played. He's not wearing the jersey. You have to defer to him. But like Brian Matthews is right there with him. He seems like a glue guy in the dad's luxury box there.
I think he fires it up. I think he's ready to have a few cocktails in there. Like he's definitely on a short list of the dads that you would expect to be like shots. I think he's one of the clubhouse leaders of that. But no, I saw a lot of Ty with Revo's dad, and those two seem to be chilling out and being like, "School will be tough, huh?" Yeah. A lot of those hangs seem to be going down. He's sick at punching. Your son is sick at punching. He's like, yeah, you were pretty sick at punching too. He's like, yeah, I was sick at punching. You better believe it. Those are, and then my other dad observation was a lot of shots of Tavares' dad not talking to anybody. Like somebody mix in talking to Tavares' dad. For the love of God, get him a buddy over there. He was just so low the entire trip.
Well, he was hanging out with what's his name's dad, the goalie's dad, Jones's dad, and they were both just like sitting there.
Yeah,
just frowning. Have a pop, boys. Yeah, mix it up a little bit.
I had a blast doing Dad Watch too. Dad Watch is a thrilling component of the dad's trip. I'm big time into it. I can't get enough. I'm glad that those guys ended up getting a win tonight, especially after the Rangers game ends that way. It's Tavares. It's a lot of booing.
Islanders game. Yeah.
What'd I say?
Yeah, you said Rangers. It's okay.
Oh yeah, whatever. Yeah. That after the Islanders game, just maybe they got the point. And it was an exciting night for Tavares, and I'm glad they would have gotten to celebrate that. But my guess is that Tavares is the kind of guy where he would rather have the win. Like in Long Island, he'd like the stats, but he would have loved to get the win and have a game-winning goal. Someone pointed out to me actually on Twitter that they should have put him on the ice to start overtime, and I went, "That's actually a great point," and that person is correct. Like Sheldon Keefe should have known what was going on and thrown Tavares over there to be able to at least get a shot in overtime.
I would hear that argument if you didn't have Austin Matthews, Mitch Marner, and William Nylander on your team who always start overtime. You go with the gut, you go with the hunch. I get it, but to me, there's three guys I want going over the boards first and 3-on-3 before Tavares. But I get what they're saying.
Well, one of them is David Kampf always for him.
Yeah,
so.
well, I mean, my thoughts on that. I can't stand that, but they didn't. I don't think I can't even remember what happened last night. Did they put Kampf out there to start? Can't remember. Anyways,
it's been 24 hours. All right. Like, and again,
Leafs have played again. Leafs have played again. I don't even know what happened.
Yeah, I just think that this is another, maybe some of the reason that you notice Matthews' dad more is because Matthews was just the driver of that first period. Like, again, another really dominant performance from him where he came out and just said, yep, I'm the best player on the ice and I'm going to make this game my own and I'm going to set the tone for this thing. And so, I thought, again, Austin Matthews, this is kind of the version of him that you want to see. They start on time. They jump out to this lead in large part because he was just a monster again.
Did you hear Keefe talk about Matthews today?
No.
He's like, basically said like, yeah, Matthews is trying hard again. And now he's one of the best players in the world again. Like,
yeah. It's basically, that's all it looks like. It was like, people are like, oh, is he healthy? Like, what's going on?
It's like, no,
he's trying.
And credit Keefe. He called him out. I don't know when that was. Maybe it was before the Bruins game on that Saturday night. And he was just like, look, he's got to be better, basically. And it was a soft
call
out
during the Sweden trip too.
Yeah, but it was as soft as it gets in terms of call out. It's a Sheldon Keefe call out. But like he did it, and ever since then he's really responded. And tonight he's just breathtaking again. Like he's starting to look like it's dominant Matthews again. And I just hope that this continues. Like, we saw this for the first week of the season, right? Where he was unbelievable, driving play, hat tricks, like really, really good. But it went away for a long time. Yeah, it went away for a long time. It really did.
Yeah.
And he's leading the league in goals, and he's always going to find his goals. But the way he played tonight, it wasn't about the goals. He just had the puck on his stick the whole game. Like, he was completely dominant the entire time. So awesome game for Matthews.
Yeah, I agree. It wasn't even like how many times in this game did he go end to end, like with a breakout where it was like he picked somebody off in the D zone and then he just decided like, okay, cool, I'm going to split these two guys. I will say, like, listen, Leafs players, all the credit to them. The first goal of the game, right? Nylander, just beautiful, just walked three guys to split the seam. Just a gorgeous zone entry for him.
Can't say Laviolette would have loved that play.
No, that's what I'm saying.
It was a bit of a fire poker situation. Boys didn't play much of a body.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. If you're going to play that way against the Toronto Maple Leafs, they're going to have moments like that in this game. Yeah. Their players are too good for you to just be reaching with sticks and not trying to put a body on somebody or engage. But yeah, dude, both of these guys just felt like they were completely untouched for so many stretches of the night. And so many of these plays are just like, their own end that they're starting it and then creating their own high danger chance.
Yeah.
God, that was nasty. He was so good tonight.
So I think the forwards would tell you, they'd be like, hey, can we please go 11-7 every night? Because it's just like they get to play so much more. And what I think, I was just looking at the ice times here. Matthews finishes 21-30. Marner plays 22. William Nylander is just below 20. Like, the big boys get to play when it's 11-7. So I'm sure they really are a big fan of it. But it just felt like Matthews played the whole game. And that's why I guess when you know he's really going, it just feels, I remember we've talked about him coming in waves. And when he's not on, it feels like he has one good shift a period. Tonight was a wave night. Matthews was surfing tonight, but he was coming in waves. He was all over it. So really good night for him.
Yeah. I'd still like to try to find ways where they could maybe limit Riley a little bit more and Brody. Yeah. Like, Brody's still over 23 minutes in this game. Riley 22. It's like, whatever. But they did have some pretty big leads. I know they were protecting it late. Ended up only being 2 goals. But yeah, felt like those guys played a lot again. There's also, like, this is just something that I'm noticing more and more too, is Brody's given it his all, right? But I'd love to see him play his proper side for a little while on the team. Like, it would be so great if they could get a right-hand shot defenseman that you could see Morgan Riley snap a pass over and not feel like it's Brody on his backhand trying to make some kind of like desperation handle and play out of the zone. Like,
what's it like to be What's it like to be handcuffed the entire game? Just ask TJ Brody. Every pass handcuffs him. He's just like, can't get his hands twisted around. And all. It's crazy. But it's amazing how few mistakes like he makes when he's playing like that. I know that he hasn't been as good as he has been in years past, but for playing as offside and playing as much as he does, it's like we don't talk about him because he doesn't make a ton of glaring errors. So I give him full credit. But yeah, he plays the whole game handcuffed, basically. Like, every pass coming to him, it's like in his feet, on his back.
I know.
Like, what the hell is happening to this poor guy?
And he just finds a way. There's a forechecker on his back, and he's bashing it out of there. He's finding a way to get it back to his defense. It really is a feat because so much of, people are giving credit to McCabe for doing it, and it's like he doesn't do it nearly as well, but it's just it's a nightmare for those two guys every single night when they're playing with probably suboptimal situations, either too many minutes or not a great partner. And the two of them continue to try to make those plays. By the way, time to talk about McCabe's hit, because this is can I just say the first part of this that just bothers the hell out of me is that
my God.
It is a gorgeous hit. And I hate the fighting after a clean hit stuff. But for it to be the Rangers of all teams that do this, the Trouba team that bitch and cry every single time Trouba lights somebody up.
Preach it, brother. Preach it.
For them to be the crybabies that try to get a fight going, like for Zibanejad, like, I'm sure part of it is just like the frustration of the night or whatever, or trying to show. But it's like, dude, how do you get up?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Dude, that reminded me of a hit you would throw in like NHL 07 on like Xbox or N64 or whatever. Like, it was like a video game hit. It's just, look at that. He's looking back at his pass terribly, and he just gets smoked. And you're right. There's no reason for him to fight. He doesn't have to fight. Zibanejad comes over to him, and he's like, okay, I'll take you off the ice. Let's go. Let's fight. And of course, Zibanejad doesn't want to fight. He doesn't want to drop the gloves. He just gets in there for performative.
It was weird though, because they were talking about it on the broadcast. Like, well, that's, McCabe's one of the guys you don't want off the ice. I was like, yeah, they're down. I'm pretty sure they don't want to lose Zibanejad.
Yeah, I would take that trade 10 times out of 10. Like their best
25
sniper.
or 25.
Yeah, their best sniper. So our mutual friend Dave Fearon sent me a text about that hit. And do you remember on the Father's trip? Like, I think this is the last biggest hit since that one for the Leafs, when Dion Phaneuf smoked Michael Sauer at
yes.
And that was the Father's trip as well. And remember, they went up to the luxury box, and Phaneuf's dad was like, yeah, that's my boy. And I don't think Michael Sauer played
that a million times.
I don't think Michael Sauer played again. Like, it was like the hardest hit in Bonesy's call. He's like, oh my God. So I don't know what it is about the Leafs. I don't know what it is about having your dad there, but I guess you just want to light somebody up on the Father's trip. And Jake McCabe did it. That's as hard as a hit as I can remember a Leaf having in a long time. Like, they've had some good ones this year, but that is a extremely hard hit.
This is the part that I was alluding to where I'm torn is I love the hit.
Yeah.
McCabe loves hunting that hit, and he has